What makes the salad come alive? Fried with some butter or even on a barbecue. The one that's got the taste you can't hide. Mushroom, mushroom, got it, mushroom, mushroom, got it, mushroom, got it, mushroom, got it, mushroom. What is the vegetable that's so low in calories? What makes the salad come alive? Fried with some butter or even on a barbecue. The one that's got the taste you can't hide. Mushroom, mushroom, got it, mushroom, mushroom, got it, mushroom, got it, mushroom, got it, mushroom, mushroom, got it, mushroom, got it, mushroom, mushroom, got it, mushroom, got it, mushroom, for all the seasons, 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 for all seasons, 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 for all seasons, 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 for all seasons, 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 hush, 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 hush.
gone. 2 or 3 years and I'll be sleeping on that park bench. Or I'll show you what Uncle Ben meant. Cause with great power comes disciples, and despite all of your obstacles, the ego is your worst Achilles tendon. I got ideas that may never leave the page. I could write a novel on the things I do on stage, but I'm not writing that. Never gonna write a biography, not even a will. The world can forgive me when I go still. I'm still a little rusty, praying to what's above me. Whatever it is, I hope it look freaky. I hope it talk, but not enough to be preachy. My phone on mute, you gon' need a seance to reach me. I just wanna float, not just on the beat or the bars that I wrote. I wanna levitate on the clouds, no token, no hoping to feel better. No more preparing for storms of sunny weather. Sometimes you gotta live without it till it's weighted. That's the way the currents float, baby. Float, baby. Yeah. And you ain't always gotta tell when you're not winning. That's the way the shit goes, baby. Goes, baby. And I'ma make shit decisions. Nobody got future vision, so there's no way to know. Shit, that's just how it goes. Be honest, feeling bored on a beat, I'ma be on it. Can't afford what I eat, so I dine and dash. When I hit a fucking car, I crash, cause I drive a Toyota 01. Fuck around, find it in a dish when I'm done. Surround sound, yeah, I fucking wish, cause my plug's always holding my funds. You know I make it dad thankful that I'm not their son. Yeah, I'm looking bummy, but you know I fold my money. And I swear they cop a giggle cause I'm funny. Michigan, I hate the snow, as toxicity goes. I'm not one to leave a honey's nose running. Yeah, I ain't talk much, that don't mean I don't try. Cause when I speak my mind, I'm afraid you'll say bye. But I know you understand me, please stand by me. Don't listen too closely when my feelings go awry.
So if you ain't gonna listen, then turn on the ignition and just drive, drive. If you're gonna be like this, you can mind your own business and not mind mine, mine.
Wait for you to find my beater. Eyes on the road, checking meter. Hands on the brake, but I'm twisting out my ego. It's a self-esteem issue, make me wish like kilos of the wrong at the function only we know. Dip in the drama, Tostitos. Fucking now we in too deep. Held together by the swaying of my feet. The groove keep me moving, but the rest of me is weak. Fuck it, take what I say with a grain of salt. Head is empty till I take a walk. I can never organize my thoughts till I turn the radio down and talk to myself. I need to keep an eye on my health. Need you to keep an eye on myself. I need to recognize I need help. I need to be reminded that I'm just as big as you. That's all I need to do.
So if you gonna listen, then turn on the ignition and just drive, drive. If you're gonna be like this, you can mind your own business and not mind mine, mine.
In my shed, hours every day spent caught up in my head. I ain't too worried about what other people said. Unpaid bills in my bank account dead. You don't need a fucking break. Hours every day running knowing it's a waste. It's the same old copy paste. Always fuck around and find out the next day. Always end up at home base. Wanna bring him on tour, but they ask for my insurance cause they know that we be fucking in all states. That's the goal, I ain't feeling shit though I know I'm on a roll. Big hands, die lungs cause they only wanna scroll. Strung out, I'm through, that's real me too. I'm ruining my own life, worry about you. Wish that I could care, remember ain't nobody there. Ain't it fair when you ask what the fuck I'll amount to. Went to therapy, tell them I'm the own business. No apologies and I ain't asked for forgiveness. Anti-anxieties, I'll put you on the wish list. It's the 5th day, I ain't been at Planet Fitness. That ain't mean shit to me when I don't understand my own psychology. I said that's alright with me. I ain't need nobody to be proud of me. See, it's all about the highs and the lows. Step into the shade, see how high I can go. 2 out of drive now, ride with my bros. Take another hit and a smile for the video. 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 Smile for the video.
Sammy in the shed. Why you always sad, homie? Why you in your head? BB long way, bro. Let's make bread. Sammy in the stew when he cooking up the tunes. Not a plug coming through. Now we caught a vibe. One good day, now I see the other side. BB on the rise. One good song, Dr. Doof wanna slide. Give the man a prize. Sammy got a prize. Now he wrote a happy song. You wanna wonder why? He done spent a little extra time with the guys. Life threw a punch, but we took it on the chin. Nothing you can't do when doing what you can. China just come through. The Rudolph's a win. Hit us with 1-2. We'll eat it up again because nothing is new to us. Breaking out through the rust. Now we striving through doom and dust, and we riding right through disgust.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Like I said, bro, you don't gotta be a player. You don't gotta go in fights, Kamehameha. You just gotta be yourself, the big layer. 3 after 3, just to make another layer. Now I look a little skinny, gotta get my way up. Used to be late nights, now we don't wanna stay up.
See, it's all about the highs and the lows. Step into the shade, see how high I can go. 2 out of drive now, ride with my bros. Take another hit and a smile for the video. 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 Smile for the video.
I like this record shit. Welcome back, everybody. It's been great. Spinling has been spotted in the chat. Spin! I haven't seen you in fucking forever. Holy shit. I hope I sound a little better. Because I remember the last time that I streamed a couple nights ago. It was crispy as shit. So I removed all the filters on it to hope that it makes it sound a little better. I can check to see if it makes me sound a little better. Because I just remember... Oh, it's still kind of crispy. Why does it sound like that? Is it just because it's like plugged in weird? It might be. Let me see. I don't know why it's been sounding crispy. You know what I feel like it's been? It might be picking up the audio from like my actual fucking mic. Like it's picking up audio from the wrong place. So that's probably why it's like that. But it was like that last time. Yeah, Spin, it's been so long, man. We kind of got disconnected because the last Discord account that I actually did have connection with you got hacked, and then I kind of forgot. I made an announcement like, yeah.
There we go. Now it's on Fanon. That should work better. I think what it was doing is that it was picking up the mic from the camera or something. I don't know. I'm fixing it, though. It'll be fine. I think that should do it. Let me see. Hold on. I didn't realize how crispy the mic was last time, and I feel really bad. There we go. I fixed it. Perfect, perfect. No, Spin, I'm so happy. I hope you get some content out too. I hope you get some content out soon, because I remember your fucking videos were so goated. Yeah, sure thing, Spin. I'll get you back after the stream, I think. I do have other things to do today, so I wasn't going to stream for super long. But I'm trying to stream more because of the new job that I have. This is the only thing I have time to do. Not that I'm trying to become a full-time streamer or whatever the fuck. Anyways, let's get on cam. Let's get on cam. Hello. Oh, cam is looking rough. Thank you, Luna Ember, with the 5. Here's a joke. What did the elephant say to the nudist? How do you eat with that thing? Thank you, Luna Ember. And also thank you, Echo. I haven't started a goal yet, guys. I wish there was like a way to add like goals that we already have pre-established, like before we start the thing as part of the thing, but unfortunately, that's not how that's gonna work. So, I should have started like as soon as the thing start, but whatever. It's fine. Alrighty. It looks like all the things are finally catching up. Thank you, Echo, for another 99 cent. I'm not here right now. I'm kind of a little bit like like, I feel like I was sleeping all day today, which I probably was, granted. I was definitely sleeping all day, and then I was like, there's so much I was supposed to do today, and then I didn't, and I feel bad that I didn't do all the things that I was supposed to. I'm working on a video essay. Got an expo on this one. Oh, no shit, you working with Nexpo? You lucky bitch. Spindling's moving up past the plague moth days. We are so grateful. Thank God, right? Anyway. So, I'm glad we're all here. I'm glad that we're all piling in. The last time I did this, when I streamed later, a lot more people were able to show up, which was an indicator for me that maybe I should be streaming later at night. Also, dude, my hair's a mess. I can't. My hair is a hot mess right now. I wonder what you do with all the extra money you get from Echo alone. Mostly, actually, you know what I did do today? I did splurge a little bit, because it wasn't from just, I think he's a fan, to be honest. He followed me on Twitter months ago. Oh, really? Oh, after Oomphaville shouted you out? Bitch! This lucky bastard. God damn. Look, good for you, Spin. Anyway, so, I did splurge out a little bit, buying stuff today. Not because of stuff I get from Echo. That doesn't come until much later anyway. But at my job, right? My new job that I do. I work in food. So I do get tips on top of what I already get paid, right? And with the tip money, I was able to purchase a couple things for my cats. Because I was saying for the longest time, I want to get my cats a new cat tree. Because our old cat tree, the legs of it were all torn up, and then I threw the legs out, and then I had to like rebuild it, and now it's shorter, and I felt bad because it looked shitty, so I'm like, I need to get the cats. I'm famous, haha, I'm a humble multi-billionaire. That's funny. But no, I needed to get them a new cat tree, so I got them a really, really tall one that's supposed to sit perfectly in a corner, so that now they can have something to relax on and watch out the window and stuff, instead of crawling all over our furniture that they're not supposed to be on. Granted, they're not supposed to be there. And they can finally have a furniture that is designated to them to crawl on, so hopefully they won't crawl on anything else. I also got them a little wheel, or a running wheel, because they get the zoomies, and they tear up all my stuff when they do that, so I want to give them something to actually keep them exercised and motivated and stuff, because they're not outdoors cats. They're not allowed to be, because there's too many cats out there with all the other stuff that I would never let them outside again anyway. But now they have a wheel, now they're getting a cat tree, and I think I had to buy a different something else. I had to buy something for the shoe rack, because the shoe rack we have is shitty, so I got another one. Hi, Top Hat, thank you. But yeah, I splurged a little bit with the tip money I made, because I was, are they not allowed on the Megatron couch? They are. That's not the couch I'm talking about. It's our shoe rack. They like to sit up on our shoe rack, which is, granted, it's technically, when I bought it, it was not a shoe rack. It's technically one of those closet organizers that are made out of, like those bars and, like, felt or whatever the fuck. That's shitty, and it's cheap, and I just got it because I needed something to put shoes in, and they're tearing it apart, so I got a better one, and I got other furniture for them to tear apart instead. But they are allowed on the Megatron couch. I just say, like, you know, I gotta lock in with this video, hit me up when you're free. Okay, sure, no problem, Spin, I will, no problem. But I'll have to send you a request first, so hit me up on Twitter. I don't have Twitter anymore, but I'll make sure I get back to you on that. Anyway, good luck with your video. I can't wait for that to come out. Anyway. So. Chat. How are we doing? Today's going to be a fun night. I, for one, get to talk about some current events. That's not true. There's a reason why I'm doing this. So, I have a couple videos up on deck. Right, and the couple videos that I have up on deck are mothership comedians and stuff going on with AI, and like also the Women of MAGA video, and like it's all stuff that I have to kind of pay attention to the world at large. Thank you, Echo. The alert box was turned off, but I do see that Echo is trying to get us to the bubble goal pretty early. My Earl Doobie vocal stims are taking over my life. That's funny. Thank you, Echo, for all the donos. They're gonna get a dude, wait. Echo, wait, hold on. Wait, I don't have the gun set up. Wait. Tactical reload. That's so not enough bubble. Actually, you know what? It might be. It's fine. I'll figure it out. I'm ready for you this time, Echo. You can get it there all you want. You can get it there all you want. I'm ready. I'm ready this time. I'm ready. Anyway. So, because I'm working on those videos that involve having to focus on the current state of the world, depressing, I know, that has gotten me into a little bit of a hyperfixation with the current state of things. But before we can even talk about the current state of things, I need to shoot you with bubbles because we have just hit the goal. Echo, of course, coming in clutch. Thank you so much. Oh, God. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Hold on. It disconnected. Okay, we're good. We're good. The bubbles tried to attack me. The bubbles first muted me, and then they tried to disconnect my chat. I think we're fine. God. Oh, God. These bubbles, even though they're your goal, and they're your reward, but they're also your punishment. They're my punishment. They're trying to sabotage me. Actually, you know what? In that case scenario, I was glad I was muted because I think my screaming would have peaked the mic and it would have upset people. I'm gonna do it again. Ah! Okay. As I was saying, chat, before, I was rudely interrupted by people being generous and giving me money. I'm kidding, Echo. I love you. I'm kidding. It's fixed. It's fine. We're good. Anyway. So, in order for me to make the videos that I want to make upcoming, such as like the stuff on the Roganverse, the Women of MAGA video that we did all those streams on a while back, I have to kind of pay attention to the state of current political events, which is so fun, I rest assure you. But I look at this whole thing, thank you, Echo, with the 199. I look at the state of the world more so in a less serious way than I normally would. I mean, don't get me wrong, it stresses me out, it scares me and everything, but it is so much funnier to look at it in the vast majority of the way as a giant fucking comedy. And when you do it like that, it does come from a place of privilege, don't get me wrong, because people are dying. But, like, also, look at my thumbnail. Look at it. Please look at it. The only way I can cope is through this, and that's probably a bad coping skill. Regardless. Seriously, Echo, do you work for it or something? Sell furry art fursuits? How do you have so much money? Oh, that's true. Listen, I just imagine that Echo is my government agent that spies on me and all I do. So Echo, if you don't mind, I'm about to shit all over the government that you totally work for. Put me on your fucking watch list, please. So, in order for me to be able to make the videos I'm going to be making, I have to pay a lot of attention and I have to do a lot of research on things. And so, that means I'm paying attention to a lot of stuff all the time. And there's a couple of like stories that are happening in the political landscape that I was interested in that I wanted to talk about today. Obviously, stuff going on with Kristi Noem's husband, hence the thumbnail. Never mind, I can't lock it. Me. That's how all my streams go. I'm like, I'm gonna lock in, I'm gonna do an introduction, and I'm gonna do great. And then I'm just like sidebarring every single 5 minutes or whatever the fuck. But there's a couple of political stuff that I wanted to talk about today. What I have on the docket right now is some stuff involving some political social influencers and then some real world stuff. And I separate the two because, let's be honest, the opinionated stuff of like internet personalities doesn't really fucking matter all that much. But you know, it's easier to separate the two because one, you can kind of talk about using a lot of internet language, and the other one, you kind of have to know what you're talking about. But you know. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is something that I think Beckett streamed about a couple of days ago that I got really excited about, to the point that I'm like, I'm going to stream about this myself. Fuck it. I know that Anthony's also streaming about this, or he was. And I can't resist. I have to talk about this. So, if you guys don't know, and I've explained this on my channel before, my origin point of the internet when I started making videos originally, I was into, like, the whole anti-SJW craze from, like, the skeptic sphere that eventually evolved into internet blood sports, into what it is today, which is a bunch of right-wing dick-sucking, right? I got out before the dick-sucking part, thankfully, but the whole blood sports part was hilarious and entertaining. At least from a distance. Once they started talking about, I don't know, like a white ethno-state and eliminating whole groups of people in order to accomplish the white race, that's when I decided to dip, thankfully. But yeah, I did have a little bit of a right-wing sting. Wait, are you friends with Ace Space? I didn't know that, Spin. I'll just ask Ace then. What the fuck? Since when were you friends with Ace? I didn't know that. Okay. Small fucking world, I guess. That's funny. Anyway. But, like, I love talking about, like, blood sports stuff. And there's parts of me that kind of wants to do videos exploring, like, lore in blood sports. I've known him for years. Dude, that's actually so crazy. Because we met through, like, the op block thing. So that's kind of funny. But we don't know each other, like, super well, but at least I know him. I have a contact with him, so I guess I'll just ask him. But, like, okay. I have been interested in talking kind of about blood sports related things, like blood sports related people who are part of the skeptic sphere in 2016, 2015 YouTube. The problem is that the amount of shit that happened and the amount of content that exists is very... It's all live streams, and they're all a bajillion years long. I used to do his thumbnails. Really? Oh, that's funny. Oh, you did his Lumi Star Bun one. That's nice. Awesome. Cool. So, you know, we, there's been a part of me that's been wanting to do it, and I might do it in, like, segments. I can't do, like, an entire intensive deep dive on the entirety of everything that happened in blood sports, because that video would be, like, 20 hours long, and I will die. But fortunately, there has been some blood sports related stuff happening in the current year. I know, I can't believe that's still happening too. But you would think that, like, the blood sports community died a long time ago. It didn't. So if you don't know, the skeptic community started off very much as, like, anti-Christian. Well, not anti-Christian, that's not a way to put it. It started off as... Oh, Ace Himpleton, people like that are my close friends I talk to every day. Oh! No, it's funny. I've heard these names in passing. I forgot that you were friends with them. I forgot. That's really interesting. Well, you know, we might... we're crossing paths again in this lifetime and the next. You know what I mean? So, that's funny. Okay. Anyways, I'm not going to get distracted here. So, we're starting in 2014. right? And this kind of starts with, like, the amazing atheists and stuff. Skeptic community stuff started off as, like, being, like, very critical of the Bible, a lot of atheists questioning things in the Bible, and it used to be, like, this whole community of atheists questioning Christians, and it was, like, a Christian versus atheist thing for a very, very long time, until we got into the realm of politics, and a lot of those atheists went into either two categories. They became either anti-SJWs or SJWs, because they that's where that one kind of split, right? And so what I ended up falling a lot into is anti-SJW stuff. And anti-SJW stuff is very much anti-woke culture. They're not, a lot of them pose themselves as, like, being pro-LGBTQ, like, some leftist issues, but for the most part were either center or identified as right-leaning. There were some leftists that were, like, anti-SJWs, like Chris Reagan and all these other they eventually became bread tubers, right? So it went from atheists, split it down to anti-SJWs and SJWs, right? The SJWs kind of stayed consistently leftist for the most part. Anti-SJW was split between leftists who just didn't really agree with this hyper-woke part of, like, leftism, and then right-wing people who wanted to shit on leftists all the time and saw nothing good with leftism at all. And so that sector of people became, like, the right-wing commentators we see in our news feeds today, that we'll get into the fallout with that later. And then you get to the left-wing people who are just kind of turned off by left-wingism and anti-woke, like, hyper-wokeness, eventually just kind of falling back into leftism naturally, and then that's kind of what happened in the disintegration of the anti-SJW communities. What also ended up happening with this sect of, like, Republican right-wing people who are anti-SJW, who did anti-SJW content, is that they did this little thing called blood sports. Blood sports was this idea that you could invite somebody from the far left and the far right and then just get them to fucking beat the shit out of each other verbally. The problem is that the chat for all of these streams would always be full of people who were inherently in support of the host, who was usually always, like, an anti-SJW right-winger. So, like, it would just basically be a dog pile on a leftist, basically. And eventually, when they couldn't get leftists on their show because they're like, we're not gonna just go in there to be dog piled on single-handedly and have to, one, debate whatever fucking crazy right-winger you decided to give a flat turn to, and then also debate your entire fucking audience. So they stopped engaging with blood sports, so blood sports ended up just kind of cannibalizing each other. And that's how the blood sports community kind of disintegrated, is because they wanted it to be like an open dialogue between extreme right and extreme left. The extreme left said, fuck that, we're not going to engage with this because this is stupid and dumb. So all the right wingers just ate each other alive. And now it's just come down to a bunch of like incredibly offensive people just like streaming and slinging slurs and doing all this other stuff. And if you have respect for that or whatever the fuck, you know, also, I'm a woke leftist, genuinely, despite being the edgy guy. No, yeah, but here's the other thing that's also important about, like, the sector of anti-SJW that was, like, slightly left-wing. The only reason they ended up in the anti-SJW scope is because they were too offensive for the leftist angle, right? Most of the people who were, like, that got divided between anti-SJWs and SJWs, and the anti-SJWs that were, like, leftists, they were only part of this anti-SJW sect and accepted in there because the leftists just were, I can't say anti-comedy, but their taste in comedy was much different. It was much more sanitized, and they just weren't. That's it. The difference between an anti-SJW leftist and a regular leftist is just that the leftist doesn't really like offensive jokes, and the anti-SJW leftist is still very much leftist, still believes in everything. They just like making edgier content. That's literally it. Otherwise, they will all eventually just kind of funnel back into leftism anyway, because as you guys can see from the dominance in the United States with right-wing ideology, and especially with Republicans having most electoral power in all three branches of government, it's not going well. It's really not going well. So, anyway, one of the people I want to talk about today is somebody who is making at least a little bit of leeway into bringing back my memories of blood sportsism into the modern day. and that is with the quartering. So, the reason why we're talking about the quartering first is because it's funny and I want to. because later I will have to talk about real world things and I don't wanna. So, I'm delaying. So, let's get into the stream. Oh, that's not the right one. Oh, there it goes. Great. Awesome. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Do the YouTube thing, you know? Share videos. Watch. I don't know. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the quartering. The quartering is basically daily breaking news in gaming. Where the quartering kind of comes from is from like the Gamergate kind of thing, and Gamergate was kind of the beginning of the SJW anti-SJW community split that kind of exists, right? Gamergate, for those of you who don't know, was the whole fucking debate about like how women are treated in the gaming space and gaming journalism, and how it tried to incorporate a lot of leftist politics into gaming, and like in more of like a cringe way, right? Because there's a lot of video games that tell a lot of stories that do involve a lot of like progressive storylines and integrated stuff, and there's a natural way to do that and to point out that, oh, this video game, the story they're trying to tell is related more into these progressive ideas, and it's trying to tell a story about this, and this, or whatever the fuck. Like, I guess the best example to talk about this is like, let's say Detroit Become Human, right? So Detroit Become Human is a story really more about the liberation of an entire robotic civilization, right? Robotic peoples trying to find liberation, trying to find equal amounts of respect with people, and all of those ideas of like robot racism, I guess is the best way to put it. Robotic racism, classism, all of those fucking integrated ideas in Detroit Become Human are very progressive in a lot of ways. It's a lot of commentary that is progressive inherently. It talks about like the use of AI, what happens when AI wants to recognize its own humanity, kind of like that sort of thing. A lot of that is a lot of progressive ideas, right? What Gamergate would do, and what a lot of leftist like journalists during Gamergate would do, would like highlight that more heavily than it ever needed to be. Now, granted, I don't think that like Detroit Become Human is like subtle in the way it does this, but like, let's say like a video game would have like progressive storylines and would have like say something about our general world, because a lot of video game storytelling, a lot of how video games are seen at least now, is on the level of movie telling and like storytelling, right? It's not just something that little boys do to play video games, a little boy's hobby. It's like everybody plays video games, right? And so video games are now seen as this mature medium, which means it's telling mature stories, and thus video game journalism tries to highlight those stories and try to assert a lot of like hyper wokeist politics into it, and that pissed a lot of gamers off because it became more or less about like kind of inserting your own views into things that just don't exist. And once that started happening, especially with the people who really became like the targets of the Gamergate sphere, like Anita Sarkeesian, they started really highlighting issues in video games that may or may not exist. Hypersexuality in video games, like women being hypersexualized, which, to be fair, that's been an issue in all types of medium. It's not just video games. Like, movies hypersexualize women. Fucking books have hypersexualized women. The hypersexuality of women has existed for a very, very long time. And just because one woman pointed it out in a video game and people got a little upset that they thought that it was a problem, doesn't mean that it's not inherently an issue. You know what I mean? So, we get to a point where people are starting to like point out issues that were like a constant and weren't seen as much of an issue before, being highlighted as an issue now with like a new perspective of is bringing this sort of political landscape into video games, and that is what gives rise to things like the Quartering and Mundane Matin Review Tech USA, I think was one of them at some point. I don't honestly remember, but like it led to Gamergate and like trying to like bring politics into video games, and it eventually just became a conversation about how women are treated in video games as a whole, and a lot of these Gamergate people just disagreed with the idea that there were sexism in the gaming industry. Now, whether you feel like there is sexism in the gaming industry or not doesn't really matter, because in retrospect, Gamergate was a stupid fucking internet thing that nobody really gives a shit about. So the Quartering comes from that kind of sector of the internet. Well, that and also Magic the Gathering, because I think they started off as like making videos on a totally different channel about Magic. But on top of that, they were also running a lot of their own businesses. You'll hear this a lot if you know anything about the Quartering, is that he says that he's very, very rich. I don't know how he makes his money, though. I think it's through different... Alright, I'm getting a phone call. Wait, hold on. 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. I was waiting for my partner's call for a bit because he called me earlier and I missed it. Anyway, is this like really? It's made me really. Excuse me. There you go. That's better. Although now it's like, hold on. This is just like a sheet that I have to like pin up like. There we go. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I got it. Okay, so let's talk about Jeremy. So Jeremy, for those of you who don't remember who he kind of, the cycles or the circles he kind of ran around with were like the anti-SJWs because of Gamergate, and so that led him to be kind of friends with a lot of those people in that sect. He also ran a lot of his own personal businesses, and one of those businesses was an online business, I think, repairing computers. There's a very infamous video of him during that time when he was running his small business repairing computers, where he advises, I'd have to find the clip, it's in Mikey No More's documentary. If you haven't seen Mikey's videos, they're fantastic. He made a video, and this is the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. He made a video, the Quartering, where he's like, hey, so if you bring in your computer and you're like a child predator and you have like CP on your computer, can you please remove that before you come into my shop to repair it? Because I'm going to come across that and that's going to be weird for me. It's so funny. I'm like, girl, what the fuck? So what he's doing nowadays is pretty much the same thing he's been doing for the last 10 years, is doing some political stuff, a lot of stuff. Surgeon belongs in prison. A lot of it is like media analysis stuff. Like, and you can see from his thumbnails, it's the same stuff from 2016, still existing within the current day landscape, despite the fact that it's gay and cringe, right? We have, the religion of peace strikes again, and I'm imagining he's talking about fucking Islam or something. He's got woke ice cream shots, instant regret with the fucking pride flag. It's just cringe. Again, with these, the trans flag ban, total woke disaster. I don't know. Antifa makes a huge mistake, as if Antifa was ever a fucking problem. Make America Charlie Kirk. This hat is fucking cringe. I don't even know why he has this. Donald Trump goes ballistic. I'm imagining in a positive way, because he, disaster for Democrats, just, and here's the thing that I need to understand, that I need to make perfectly clear. If you're like somebody who's like, oh god, no, shut up, you didn't hit the goal, stop. If you're somebody who's like anti-Democrat, that's totally fine. Like, I don't really care mostly for people's politics by the end of the day, because it's like, there's worse things to fucking worry about. But this is just kind of cringe. Like, this whole... And the worst part is that a lot of these people who do this kind of content, this woke blob finds out, fuck the wokes kind of thing, they always are like, oh no, I'm not, like, a Republican. I'm not a right-winger. I'm always, like, a libertarian or a centrist. But the problem is that every single one of these fucking people that is, like, a centrist or a libertarian or something that's supposed to be more moderate, all they ever do is just criticize the left and they dick suck the right. That's it. And it's like, are you really a centrist at that point? No. And that's a problem that a lot of those SJW folks had, is that a lot of them were like, oh, I'm leftist. I agree with a lot of leftist issues. But then all they do is criticize the left. That's all they do. And it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to try to convince me into believing that you're some sort of centrist moderate and that both sides suck, but all you do is bash the one side. And then when it comes to Trump, it's just praise, nothing but praise. It's like, okay, you're a Trumpy then. Why are we even having this conversation of like, I'm a moderate, when you're having stuff like Trump won, Iran caves, oil prices plummet, and stock market, like, that's not even true. Like, this, just, hold on. This video right here, as of 7 days ago, stock market soars, oil prices plummet. That's not even fucking true. Oil is like $100 a gallon now. It is spiking everywhere else. So this, just by the basis of this fucking 7 days ago, because this was like a week ago, and I know this is just not true. This entire title is just not true. Like, it's like, do you not live in like an objective reality where you can criticize the right as much as you do the left? And it's like, this isn't even a working strategy at this point, because the quartering has 2 million subscribers and can barely hit 100K. Like, doing this isn't popular, right? So, that's the quartering. He's been doing this whole anti-SJW, woke, evil kind of thing for the last 10 years. Still praising Trump, despite the fact he's probably the most popular, according to the polls that we've been seeing, is one of the most unpopular presidents of all time, period. As far as, like, when we started measuring that kind of thing, right? Recently, though, he's kind of did a little bit of an oopsie. So for those of you who don't know, the quartering is not the only, like, kind of anti-SJW that still exists and still kind of does the same thing he's been doing all 10 years ago now. The other person who does is Andy Worski. Worski is a very interesting character who needs a video all on his own, because I love Worski lore. I may not really respect the guy or his beliefs or whatever. Him himself, though, has made a lot of positive progress in his life that I can sort of respect, taking the time away from the internet to try to work on himself and actually showing that it's working. But other than that, his entire existence on the internet is fucking insane, and it's so fucking fascinating. Politically, we may not align at all, but I think he's such a weird little character, right? So, currently, Andy no longer, I don't think he does anything on his main channel anymore. Mostly he's just been live streaming over on Kick with, I think his name is Ash. PPP is his official name. But they run a channel, or they run like a live streaming thing called Kino Casino. They were talking about the quartering and some information that came out about his private life. My working theory, as well as other people's working theory, is that the quartering is gay. I believe he's gay because when I was deep in anti-SJWism and I was following all these people, I distinctly remember when the quartering bought Sargon of Akkad's semen and drank it on a video. Okay, this man is gay. This man is a gay man. But basically, I think what ended up coming out about him was some sort of interesting thing about, I think it was this girl, this Melanie girl. Basically, the quartering kind of does this, like, this LARP, right? And I call it a LARP because the way that he acts doesn't at all reflect at all how he presents himself online, right? He basically kind of got outed for being married. He is married, but he has, like, some really weird, I don't want to say simp behavior because I don't really care if somebody is, like, nice to a girl. Because a lot of people who are just, like, generally complimentary get accused of simp behavior, and I think that's kind of cringe and gay. But basically, the Kino Casino was making fun of how this Christian LARP wasn't going well, considering how the quartering acts around other women. He is very simpy in a way, where even though he's married, he will constantly hang out with people like this Melanie person, who I think is a constant guest, or at least a co-host on his live streams. The fact that he said he wanted to start a compound or something, like buy a plot of land and then bring a bunch of these e-girls with him or something. And there was something about Echo with the 189 as part of the LGBT that sounds really gay. Yes, it is very gay. Well, the running joke basically is that either from what I recall, and someone could correct me on this, his wife or him was friends, and it became a meme on Twitter. This Jewish bowl or something like that, and I hate that that's what they're calling it, but basically he was being extra friendly to this person, or his wife was, and they were saying that either she was, like, cheating on him, or, like, or there was, like, a cucking situation where his wife was fucking this one guy, or secretly he was, and he's gay, and that's my working theory because he's gay. Lazy, there's only so much insane bullshit about this man I can take. Alright, listen, it's gonna be okay. All you need to know. I thought that AI thumbnail was Wendigo. Wait, which one? Oh, this? That's funny. I'm not gonna watch Tactical Templar's video for this. But what ended up happening was that Kino Casino started making this joke about this Jewish bull, about how the quartering and his wife is in a cuck relationship, how they fuck other people behind each other's backs, because he's trying to play this lawyer LARP of, like, being loyal to your wife, but then also doing that behind the scenes, right? Basically being involved in multitudes of sexual relationships despite the fact that they're all married. And so they start doing that. They start talking a lot of shit on the quartering's wife, and he takes a big amount of offense to this, so much so that he privacy struck, or either privacy struck or copyright struck, one of the strikings. He abused a system on YouTube to take down, I believe it was the Clips channel of the Kino Casino, because I don't think Kino Casino has a YouTube channel. They just have a clips channel that's ran by another person. And that person takes all the revenue from editing the clips and posting them to YouTube. And they kind of have a working co-relationship with Kino Casino. And so what the quartering did when they started posting clips of their stream calling out the quartering would privacy strike all those videos, or even copyright, abuse this A system to get all those videos removed to strike down the channel entirely. And currently they're trying to work out something with YouTube in order to get the channel back up, but a lot of people are making the comparisons to Mundane Matt because he kind of got into the same situation where a lot of videos that were critical of him were suddenly disappearing. Nobody really knew why. And then it was revealed in a infamous Ralph Retort livestream that there was a way to check whether or not he was actually reporting these videos by checking his report history. And so the report history showed that he was striking down all the videos critical of him. He got caught pretty much red-handed. The famous Matt, no! clip from Ralph happens, and then that's kind of... This is basically, people are saying that this is like a 2.0 kind of situation. That's the comparison they're making. This is basically Matt 2.0. Crimson Mayhem with the 5. He talks more about gay people than the average gay person. That's pretty much checks out. That is my working theory. He is gay. Oh, goodness. But there's a couple of videos I guess we could watch. I don't know which one to click. I think Mikey talked about it. I kind of like watching Mikey's videos in general about this sort of thing. This is the actual documentary he made. If you guys want to check out Mikey no more, his videos are fantastic. His quartering one is especially fantastic. I'm pretty sure I thought he talked about this, but I guess he didn't. Other than just... Did he? Cometscape, blah, blah, blah. I thought that he might have actually just talked about it in the live stream. Yeah, I think he just did it in the live stream. I thought that he had like an edited down video talking about the recent events, and we could just watch that, but I guess he didn't. So we can do... I don't know this Mr. Sun guy. I'm trying to find one that like sums it up a bit better. That's not, because I'm hearing a lot of this story through live stream stuff, but I was really hoping that there would be like a comprehensive kind of breakdown. Instead, I suppose we could watch Busted Monday Matt calling out the quartering. This was 8 hours ago. I wonder what he has to say. I'm a little curious. Damn, Animator with the 20, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope you're doing well as well, my friend. Thank you so much for the monies. I appreciate it. I'm a little interested in what Matt had to say about it, because this was 8 hours ago. So, granted, even though I am showcasing this content, I don't know who any of these people is. Thank you, Echo, for the 199. I don't know who any of these people is. I don't condone any of their behavior if they're bad. So, I'm interested to see what they had to say. Let's get into Monday Matt. Considering that this is a situation where this is being compared to a Monday Matt 2.0, I am kind of interested in what he had to say. Me. Literally me. You can't like figure this shit out unless you watch hours worth of live stream content to figure it out. And I'm like, dog, put it in a comprehensive video, please. I'm stupid. I need my slop content to explain this shit to me real quickly. Oh, wait. Hold on. Stop picking up my. There we go.
Many clips of.
There we go. I fixed it. Is the video supposed to be muted? No, that was just my fuck up. Hold on, I fixed it. It wasn't coming through my headphones, and the jack wasn't picked up. There we go. Don't worry, you haven't missed out anything. It's fine.
Surface with him saying some very, we'll just say, awkward, inappropriate, or just really weird stuff. One example would be going to work and drinking breast milk from his work wife.
I'm fucking sorry. Wait, what? Wait. Excuse me? Huh? What? Fucking pardon? Can we play that again just one more time? Can we hear that one more time?
To work and drinking breast milk from his work wife while he's married to another girl. It's just very, very strange stuff like that.
We hit the goal chat. Who wants to play with bubbles? Bubble time! Slurping up. Slurping that up. I'm drinking a root beer float because I felt like it. I hope everyone enjoys my root beer float ASMR. I love that we had to start with wait, whoops. I love that with this stream, the moment I put this fucking video on, it starts with drinking the breast milk of another woman, and then we were just like, let's do bubbles now. I don't want to fucking be here anymore either. What a way, what a turn of events. Other women's breast milk and now bubbles. Because what the fuck else would we be doing, chat? That's so fucking funny. That's so fucking stupid. That is so funny. Anyways, thank you for donating, chat. If you guys don't know, we have a stream goal. Every time you guys hit the stream, I play a little dingle and then I shoot you with my bubbles. That sounded wrong. Crimson Mayhem, just a heads up, JT's Mac is an anti-woke conservative. Trust me, I know, I'm not condoning. I just want to listen to the information about the quartering, okay? I don't condone anything from anyone. I just want to watch and be informed. Anyways, here's your bubbles. Here's your bubbles. Whee! Listen, if he can explain to me the dealings of Mundane Matt, I don't really care either way. And already, considering that intro, we're off to an amazing start. My question is, why are you doing this at work? Honey. That is the right question. The answer, I hope, exists in this video. Anyway.
Married to another girl. It's just very, very strange stuff like that. And that's just scratching the surface of it. All these things came to a head when Kino Casino started covering each of them and poking fun and laughing and talking about how ridiculous all these things really are and how just lolcow he really is. And
right. So there's a kind of a reason why the quartering has entered in a lolcow status, aside from this, right? There was things before that too. And to get into what Smash was talking about, the reason why Jeremy's kind of become a little bit of a lolcow is because he's got a lot of interesting quirks. I don't know if he fits in a lolcow category under my definition, but what kind of cemented him from getting like a Kiwi Farms thread and all this other stuff was the fact that the one thing he constantly gets referenced to, right? Who starts a conversation like that? Oh, it'll get worse. Hold on. There's a clip of Jeremy, if you guys don't ever watch the quartering, which, why would you? He's playing Fall Guys, right? It is a scene where he is playing Fall Guys. And he's like, I gotta pee real bad, but I gotta finish this match. I want to win this match, and then I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And if I don't do it in a timely manner, I'm just gonna piss in my basement, right? Because he's got like a lot of basements do. They have like access to the well underneath the house, right? So he lost the game of Fall Guys. He goes, fuck! Gets off, goes off into the corner. He is drunk, by the way. He is pissed drunk playing Fall Guys. Walks off screen, and then just pisses in the hole, and you can hear it. And that's what a lot of people... I'll actually find the clip. You know what? It's better if I just show you. Yes, I will find the quartering pissing clip. I don't care. The quartering. Pissing in his basement. Oh my god. I will also find the cum clip. That's also a very funny clip too. Let's do this. Oh my god. There we go. Got it. All right. I found it. It's like 5 minutes. I don't think I'll watch the full 5 minutes.
You never know.
But
you never know. Maybe I'm gonna pee in my trash can down here. I don't know. My wife went out for pizza without me, and I'm angry about it. So I'm gonna win this round, and I'm gonna pee. If I don't win this round, I'm gonna pee in my own basement. What do we think about that?
Oh, fuck.
I don't have a bathroom down here. Oh, we made it.
Right. All right, so we're going to skip to...
No!
The part. So he leaves. Oh, my God. What sounds to be distant pissing is so funny. I just love that this man is pissing in his basement. And you know what? It would be one thing, right? Echo with the 5. Lazy, I'm scared of the greasy basement man. It wouldn't be so bad to do this if it were like a basement that's not like detailed like this, right? He's got like all of his little collectibles, these cool little rotating like planets, so much Nintendo memorabilia, this sign that says go broke, get woke, go broke, which is so cringe. He's got all of this cool stuff. Clearly his basement is detailed or whatever, or furnished, and he's just pissing in a hole in the basement, probably off in the corner or whatever the fuck. And it's like, but your basement's like decent looking. It would be one thing if it were like a rundown basement or something. But it's just, you're pissing next to all of your really nice collectibles. I really wouldn't advise this. Also, I need to find the clip. I'm gonna find this clip too because it's really funny. Oh my god, I love this shit, man. It's so good. Drinking. I sent this to Becca for his stream, so I need to find it again.
For a million.
I got it. Okay. So here's a clip. I hope this is the same one. It might be a different one of the quartering drinking Sargon of Akkad semen.
Gargle any little guy's swimmers. Any guy's little swimmers. Yeah, for a million, I'd probably do it. I'd probably do it for less than a million, to be honest with you. Just to gargle it. Sargon of Akkad semen. Comes in a nice little vial. Pretty interesting. Here goes nothing.
Yeah, so he then proceeds to say after he does that, that every straight man should try tasting semen at least once. So you guys see why he's a lolcow, right? We get it? Okay, good, cool. What the fuck? Look, man. What the fuck, Lisa? I had to explain why he's a lolcow. This just what? Guys, come on, this is a family-friendly stream. How much does he make per video to do this shit? It has to be enough to drink semen. It has to be enough to drink semen. Guys, this is why the theory of him being gay is so strong. Because why the fuck would you do this if you weren't? Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled quartering.
After they did that, the quartering, Jeremy Hambley took issue with their segment and had a private DM conversation with Josh Moon from Kiwi Farms, which I covered on my live stream channel.
I forgot about this. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, this is why it's so funny. Okay. So, with what happened with Matthew Jarbo, right? He got caught pretty much red-handed by showcasing his report history and seeing that it's all the videos that got struck for privacy reasons or whatever it be, and he got caught red-handed. The quartering doesn't have, like, a direct link besides his conversation with Joshua Moon, who is the head of Kiwi Farms, the person who, like, basically created the whole website, the creator of Kiwi Farms. The Kino Casino clips of them making fun of all of his outside of marriage sexual escapades were getting posted to Kiwi Farms a lot. And what this stupid asshole did what Jeremy tried to do was go to Josh, because they've known each other for a bit, I guess. Go to Josh and ask to have those videos, at least on Kiwi Farms, taken down. And at some point he was noticing that the clips were ending up not just on the Kiwi Farms, but it was also ending up all over Twitter. It ended up on the YouTube page for the Kino Casino clips. So he's just like, I'm just going to strike them down myself. Or at the very least, he talks about how he has the power to strike them down. And this is how stupid Jeremy is that, like, even though you can't, his report history is not, like, out in the public eye to see that he definitely took these clips down, he is in a conversation with Joshua Moon, who is the Kiwi Farms head, who, like, will post literally anything to these threads and not keep anything private just for the sake of keeping up with threads, right? He's having conversations with Josh Moon being like, I mean, I'm not going to abuse the system, but, like, I have a YouTube contact that totally could for me. And it was, like, something like that. And it was like, motherfucker, didn't that... You make yourself look fucking guilty. You look like you may not have direct evidence on you, but the fact that you're casually talking about how you're totally gonna do it, and then it happens, makes you look fucking guilty. Like, what the actual fuck? Lacey, I don't feel good after watching that. I'm sorry. I feel like I need to take a shower after seeing that. But yeah, no, that's how, it's just so silly, because it's like, you can't talk about and say, oh, I'm not gonna, right? It's like, I could take down Kino Casino's clips. I could theoretically get my YouTube contact to take them down, but I won't do that, because I would never abuse the system like Matthew Jarbo did. Never would I ever. And then it suddenly happens, and you're like, who else? Who the fuck else? Like, it's so stupid.
Where they extensively talk about how Quartering is threatening to contact his non-Pajit YouTube partner and contact Kick and get them taken down and flag them for...
And you have to keep in mind also is that during this time, like, it's not like the Quartering and Andy Worski don't know each other. They used to know each other. They used to run in the anti-SGW spheres, like, in 2016, over 10 years ago. So it's not like they don't know each other. Fucking... The Quartering is on live streams talking about how Andy is, like, talented, and, like, he could do something really good with his fucking YouTube channel, or, like, really good with his talents, but he's wasting it on Kino Casino. And it's like, Kino Casino, I don't know if you guys know how popular it is currently, but on Kick, it's, like, one of the top dono, channels on Kick, which I don't know how much that matters in the grand scheme of things, considering Kick is still, like, competing with Twitch and YouTube, which are still dominating in the whole, self-broadcasting, self-YouTubing, Twitching, whatever the fuck. Like, content creation spaces, it dominates over Kick. But in terms of making money, you can definitely make a lot more money on Kick, because they're not really worried about the sponsorships as much as YouTube and Twitch are. So it's a lot less regulated, which makes Kino Casino incredibly profitable, because one, when Andy Worski was a big free speech, I'm a pro free speech guy, right? And when you're running a show like Kino Casino, that really highlights a lot more if you're going to be doing it on Twitch, on Kick, than you would on Twitch and YouTube, where it's very sanitized, and where over there they can just say fuck it, you know what I mean? So it really shines very heavily, matching and correlating with what Andy says, and his beliefs that he puts out there on the internet, to just go with, like, Kick and not worry about YouTube and the self-censorship he would have to do now. And so that's absolutely what makes him incredibly appealing, is that his ideology and, like, what he believes has never changed. It's just evolved into going on different websites that adhere to it and make him more profit and more money that way. It's just finding the right spaces in which you can properly express yourself without compromising yourself for the sake of an algorithm or for the sake of a TOS thing or whatever it may be. So going to Kick was probably the best thing he could have done, so that he doesn't compromise his ideals, right? That doesn't mean that you can't do that on YouTube anyways, because there's a lot of people that still do what they do in Kino Casino. They're just a lot more, contained on YouTube, or the fucking Clips channel, which isn't even run by Andy or Ash is really fucking shitty, especially if he's threatening it to Josh fucking Moon. Like, are you stupid? How are you that fucking stupid?
Ban evasion, even though they aren't ban evading, and all these things come to a head with the conversation with Josh Moon. And even
right. So, okay, this is what that he was trying to abuse the system with. Okay. So, I don't believe that I don't remember how Andy got banned off of YouTube. I remember there was a time where his regular channel, Warski, was available and then suddenly it wasn't. And a big reason why was because of the people he would platform, like, you know, Richard Spencer and, like, all of his blood sports shenanigans. Once the quartering is gone, Star Giant will take over and rename it the Gianting. That's crazy, Crimson. What the fuck? But because of, like, what was going on during the Bloodsports era and all the people they would platform who would argue some crazy, extreme right-wing shit, I think Andy's channel ended up getting flagged and removed for that. So now, I don't even think he's doing anything really just YouTube. He's just doing the kick stuff now, and they don't really give a fuck. So, again, he's flagging the Clips channel and saying that, oh, Andy is ban evading on YouTube, despite the fact that the Clips channel isn't bringing Warski back on the platform. It's just taking his content that exists on a completely separate platform, by the way. A platform not affiliated with YouTube at all, and clipping it and posting it to YouTube. But they're saying that that's ban evading, even though it's like, it's not. That's not what ban evading is. That is absolutely not what ban evading is. What are we fucking talking about? The person who runs the Clips channel Andy has no access to it. It's literally just a person who started clipping for them that they co-work with, and saying, like, yeah, you can clip our stuff and you can make money off the channel and whatever. And it's just, like, if you call that ban evading, then I guess, like, if, say, Beckett from Cope and Seethe were ever banned from YouTube, then Killjoy, who runs Clip and Seethe, would be ban evading effectively on behalf of someone else, which is so stupid. Like, don't put that evil upon us. Like, it's just really fucking silly.
During the conversation, Quartering is saying, I know you're going to make these public. So even in that conversation, Quartering knew that the conversation that was in DMs was going to be shown to everyone. And he still went through it talking about how he planned on taking them down and would do everything he could to take them down. And then shortly after that, Kino Casino's Clips channel on YouTube was taken down. And one of the members of Kino Casino, Andy Warski's personal channel, was taken down as well. With that as the context, let's bring...
Interesting. Was that when the actual... Hold on. Would that be the actual Warski live... No, I guess not. He must have had a separate channel aside from that, then. That's so crazy that... Wait, if Andy could have his own personal channel then, even though apparently he was ban evading, I guess, from the whole, like, fucking... you know, stuff that happens with blood sports, then if he has his own fucking channel despite all that means inherently that he was still allowed on YouTube, then he wasn't ban evading. So you're trying to get him on ban evasion when there's not effectively a ban evade on him when he still has his own personal YouTube channel? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, I knew the quartering was dumb. I just didn't know he was this fucking stupid. I mean, it was pretty obvious. Anyway, let's play this a little faster so we can get through this.
Up the latest situations, because what I just talked about there was just scratching the surface of everything that's happened. Andy Warski from Kino Casino says, "You're telling me, Jer?" Let's see it.
All sorts of shenanigans going on with even comedians can't post their content without getting struck down on.
Oh, the irony. Oh,
their comedians can't even get. Now, you could argue whether or not you would consider Andy Warski a comedian or whatever the fuck. He always, to me, has always been more of like a political shit stirrer, I guess is the best way to put it, especially with the way that blood sports definitely manifested starting with him, right? But I think this is just so funny that he complains so much about how you can't make a joke anymore. You'll get flagged by like all these fucking people. Meanwhile, he's flagging people who are making fun of his relationship. And, you know, the stuff about his relationship isn't like private stuff that he like said didn't want to be a part of the the public eye, that he kept private. No. A lot of his like stuff that is weird about like his relationship and like how him and his wife have this, like how their relationship is, all that's public. He posted that publicly himself. So like, you can't complain about that. I mean, I guess you could, but like if you're willingly sharing it and then people are like, "Ha, that's super funny," and then you go, "Don't make fun of me for that." It's like, then don't share it if you think it's going to be embarrassing. I am not as open of a book as I used to be, right? Because I know the consequences of sharing anything to the internet. And if you didn't want this to be something that it was going to be made fun of you for, and you still post it anyways, you can't be kind of shocked. Like, as a public figure, everyone's going to talk about you. And it sucks, don't get me wrong. As somebody who talks about a lot of people constantly, I get that it's not the greatest feeling in the world to be talked about is in a negative context, right? But if you're sharing stuff that's negative about yourself to the internet, and the reaction is a negative reaction to that negative context that you share, you can't act shocked. You know what I mean? And you can't then project it to this, oh, I don't agree to this whole abusing the system to take stuff down because people are just trying to joke around. They're just trying to be comedians and do their job as comedians, right? Like this whole, oh, support a comedian and support their free speech and whatever the fuck. Meanwhile, you know, you're doing what you're doing because it's like, oh, but my private life is being made fun of, despite the fact that you shared your private life, right? You've been sharing your private life for the past 10 years. So if you didn't want it to be made fun of, just keep it to yourself. That's why I'm such a closed book and I don't fucking talk to people.
Yeah, it's different when it happens to me, Jeremy, isn't it? It's so different.
On certain platforms, it's getting scary.
It's getting scary.
A treasure trove of comments that have been coming up.
I think what would be infinitely more scary is you sharing this and having this perspective of, I hate when people false flag, and then literally brag to Josh Moon, knowing he's going to share it to the rest of the internet, about how you want to false flag and tear apart Andy Worski's career to the ground. And this guy used to be your fucking friend. Like, it's classic crybally material. No, it is. Yeah, exactly. He's being a crybally. He's being a crybally. Where does Matt Jarbo come in? Oh, right here. Like, right here. We'll do this.
Media for a report. But let's listen to what Matt Jarbo has to say about the situation with the quarter right now.
Okay, I haven't addressed this in video yet, but I'm going to be doing a live stream later on tonight to kind of go more into it. But let me just say
you know
this.
What's crazy? It's so crazy that Matt is still around, right? It's still actually crazy that any of these people are actually still around. Because these are people that I used to watch 10 fucking years ago. If 10 years from now I'm still doing YouTube, someone please hunt me down and shoot me. This can't be what I do for the rest. If I'm doing this up until I'm 25 now, if I'm 35 and still doing this, someone put me down. Put me down.
Because I feel like after Jeremy did 3 videos about me when my situation happened in 2018, I kind of feel like I owe him one, at least one. Right? Let me just kind of start with saying this. Jeremy,
whoa, wait. The whole Matt Jarbo thing happened in 2018? It hasn't even been 10 years. That's oh my god. That's so fucking crazy. Oh god. Help, I'm dying. Stay. That's actually crazy. That was 2018. I could have sworn that happened in like 2016 or 2017. That's fucking wild. I'm so old. I feel so fucking ancient, man. That's crazy. Okay.
An apology video.
Oh, how the turntables. Matt Jarbo is telling the quartering what to do. Who could have ever seen this?
Come on, get your phone out. You can do it. Drunk, sober, it doesn't even really matter. Just go out there and admit you fucked up, because you did fuck up. Whether or not you flagged or not.
Right.
Let's be clear about that for a second. You threatened it publicly.
Right. That's the whole thing where Jeremy.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was explaining earlier, right? When I say that there's like, I thought it was 2019. Dude, honestly, it's been such a long fucking time. The fact that the 2018, 2019 is now 6 years, 7 years, 8 years old is so fucking crazy. But like, I think it's so insane that, like, again, as I was explaining earlier, there's not really, like, a report history that we can look back on Jeremy's channel, right? That 100% proves that he was the one behind the flagging and the taking down. Especially since now I believe YouTube has made it so that you can actually edit your report history so that you could just delete reports, right, that you've made in your report history. And so if Jeremy was, like, fucking on trial, I guess, for this shit, and he wanted to leave the evidence of that he did this, he could. So the definitive way that they got Matt Jarbo on to prove to Jeremy, he either won't admit to it or he can just edit it so that he doesn't have to, right? The fact that he bragged about doing it publicly and then magically it happens, and Josh Moon's like, brother, you just bragged about the thing and then you did it. Like, I too would be like, no, he fucking did this. Like, even if he were to deny it, because I think on Twitter he was like denying that he was the one behind the thing, but he just didn't appreciate that they were making fun of his wife or whatever the fuck. It's like, brother, you did this. Like, you're bragging about it privately. It ends up in the public eye, and then publicly what happens is that what you were threatening actually does happen. You can't blame people for reasonably doing the Pepe Silva thing and connecting the dots with the red line. You can't fucking get mad at people like that, because that's so fucking stupid. Jesus.
Keeps going back to, I didn't take their channels down. The fact of the matter is, you threatened to do it publicly and privately, and when you did it privately, you knew it was going to be shared publicly anyway, so that's not even an excuse either. You threatened to do it multiple times everywhere. And oh, by the way, even if you didn't think it was getting shared, you still threatened to do it. And then shortly after you threatened to do it, the channels came down. So miss me with the, I didn't do it. Doesn't matter. The intent showing that you wanted them down was there. You shouldn't even have that perspective. That's the non-starter.
You said it privately, and then it happened. All right? People are going to start connecting those dots whether you want them to or not. The internet is nothing if not great for jumping to conclusions. And there is no preponderance of evidence you will ever be able to present that will ever fully exonerate you, and it just never will. You're never going to beat the allegations of this whole thing. Believe me.
Right.
Believe me.
Well, I don't know if, like, Matt could really be like, believe me, bro, I know, I've been there. When he got caught pretty much red-handed, they said, show your fucking report history. He pulled it up, got caught red-handed. It was all there, right? Jeremy either isn't going to do that, or he's going to do, like I mentioned previously, just edit the evidence so it shows that he was so not behind it, right? Even though it's pretty fucking obvious. You can't brag about it doing it privately, and then when it actually happens IRL, not expect people to be like, okay, so you did this. Like, you make yourself look guilty already. And I believe he did it. I absolutely believe he did it, because if there's anything that you will find out if you do any sort of looking into quartering lore, he is not consistent at all, which is why a lot of people from, like, right-wing spheres fucking hate this guy. They've hated him for a very long time, because it's not that they hate him because he's, like, an anti-wokey guy. It's not that they, because he's a conservative or he's, like, doing this whole Christian LARP or whatever. It's because he's two-faced as fuck. It doesn't even matter. He could be a conservative Christian, whatever the fuck. But as soon as you start doing things that go directly against the things you claim, that's when people are going to start fucking not liking you. It's usually when it comes to politics for me, and this whole political landscape that I used to be a part of when I was a kid, it was never about these people being Republican or, like, right-wingers or whatever. I couldn't give less of a shit. It was about whether or not what they were saying and what they were doing was consistent. That's the whole reason why I have issues with people like Nick Fuentes, for example. People say that Nick Fuentes is very consistent, right? He's so smart, he knows what he's talking. The guy is an anti-gay guy, says that all gay people need to be tied and quartered and murdered, and he's fucking Catboys on the side. You don't understand. I don't give a fuck if he wants to be, like, a pro-Hitler Nazi or whatever the fuck. I mean, I do care. But, like, if he wants to be this edgy little white boy, whatever, dude, go for it. But you gotta be consistent with it. The moment you start fucking Catboys and you're a Nazi, people are gonna call you out and be like, oh, you're not consistent. Oh, you're a fucking hypocrite. And in the political landscape, especially political content creation, political streaming, that's the thing that will get you. Not your views, not whether or not you're right or wrong about a political thing, not whether or not you're right or wrong about a social issue. None of that fucking matters. You guys can debate social issues and political stuff and read articles and be right or wrong about it all the fucking time. You will still have a platform and you will still have your audience, even if you're downright wrong or lying. What matters and what kills you in the political landscape, if you're going into politics as a content form creation, and I learned this very, very early on, is that as soon as you're a fucking hypocrite, it's over. That's what kills you. Not if you're politically illiterate, which a lot of these people are. Not if you read articles and you're blatantly incorrect about when you read them. Not when you blatantly lie about statistics. you could do all of that and still have a platform of people that support you and believe that you know what you're talking about when it comes to politics. The moment you're a hypocrite, though, forget it. Forget it. Forget it. Forget it. It's over by that point. You could be a stupid anti-woke guy that focuses way too much on, you know, the stupid social issues that don't fucking matter. You can do that all you want. The moment you are inconsistent, forget it. Forget it. People are going to stop fucking paying attention. People are going to fucking start hating you. Because you could be wrong all the time about politics. God knows I was when I was doing political content when I was 16 and didn't know fucking any better. I could be wrong pretty much 98% of the time. Didn't fucking matter. At the very least, I was consistent and that my actions reflected what I was posting on the internet as my opinion. But as soon as they don't, it's over. Fuck it. And that's what keeps getting Jeremy, right? He's the type of guy who is very much conservative a lot about his push for ideas, right? Generally wanting things to be the same, you know, not supporting stuff like social programs, being pro-capitalist, all this kind of thing, but he fucking scams the shit out of people. He fucking starts up a bunch of failed businesses that are like coffee brand coffee and stuff like that. He e-begs constantly. This guy who doesn't like a handout, who believes that you should work within the system of capitalism, will be a fucking e-beggar on the internet. Like, you have to be consistent with how you present your, this is my political opinion, this is what I think about social stuff, but how I act in the background. And it's the same thing with like even like standard politics that you see that's not just on the internet, but just as a baseline in real political world, in real Congress, and real thing. As soon as you, I mean, even then, I think it actually might be the reverse, because if you're like a political content creator and you're a hypocrite with what you put out there as your political opinion, people won't fuck with you. But if you're a politician and you're a hypocrite, that's just kind of expected as part of your job. And it's like, I feel like it should be baseline across the board. If what you spout is not actually what you do, you know, if you don't say what, you know, say what you mean what you say what you do kind of thing. If that's not consistent with how, especially if you're putting up like positions of an authority or as an expert or in a position of power, yeah, people are not gonna fuck with you. And it should be like that baseline for everybody, but like some people, as long as you have money, it doesn't fucking matter. And I fear that with Jeremy, what's going to happen is that he's never going to admit that he did this, and because he's a rich billionaire, he's just gonna hopefully buy a plantation and just move there and move with all of his lovely women that he dates, and then also is married to his wife, and his wife has a Jewish bull that he also fucks because he's secretly gay. That's my theory. The women are just there for show. He is gay. And he's going to build this compound and live in the woods with his gay man, and then he's going to bring his wife and all these other women that he sims for to live on his little compound in the middle of the woods. And because he has a lot of money, he'll continue to stream while getting pegged by his boyfriend. That's what's going to happen. This is my working theory.
He's not going to beat the allegations, because what the allegations are people reacting to his streams, his words, not even out of context. It's just insane stuff that he's been saying. And I've covered in multiple videos, Kino Casino's covered in multiple streams, that the situations that he has brought up himself, that he is, you could argue, embarrassed for himself now and doesn't want more people to find out about it. So what is it, Jeremy? Is it okay for you to talk?
I just find it weird that he's worried about people finding out about stuff, right? He's like, oh, he doesn't like when people talk about things that he's worried that people will find out about when he shares everything to the internet. Like, a good example, right? And I guess I'll find the clip because it was played in another thing. A good example would be when he told the story, I think it was with Bering, Count Dacula, and himself, where he's talking about how he, like, shat himself at a Walmart or something. I'll look it up. In a Walmart. The unspeakable horrors of what the quartering did in a oh god. Okay, let me find it real quick. I don't.
Here, while this is happening, I guess we can stay.
Right,
we can stay on this image, and we
see
can
if
listen
this is
to. We can listen to what the quartering had to say about himself.
So yeah, it was vivid. The memory.
All right,
was
this should be it. I
service
think.
bearing,
I'll
grats on
set the
bearing,
video
your virtual
is-
shield Wi-Fi.
Okay, go on, tell it now. Don't change the subject. Tell it just again. Once upon a time.
So once upon a time, I believe I was probably 32, 33, maybe 34.
So hang on, what was that a couple of years ago? How old are you?
Yeah. I'm 36.
Okay.
So yeah,
36-year-old man.
The memory is vivid. We're at Walmart. We had just eaten, my wife and I. We had just eaten at Qdoba. Oftentimes, it's like a chain Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
I do really enjoy their quesadillas, and I get a quesadilla. My body has a little bit of a problem with cheese, as I found out that day. They had put like a ton of cheese on it, and like when you're gonna have I would say watery shit, you can kind of tell like your stomach kind of gurgles, and you know it's gonna be bad.
Yo,
well,
what?
we're grocery shopping, and it starts to hit me. I'm like, oh, I got shit. We're in the front of the store by the vegetables. The bathrooms are way in the back, or in the front of the store, like on the other side. And
I mean, it's not really that far. Like, from the produce section to the bathroom, it's really not that far. Like, you guys feel me? Like, I've been to Walmart a fair amount of times. I don't use the bathroom there very often, but like, it really.
Yeah, is it most Walmart? I don't even think this is a Walmart thing. I think this is most grocery stores where they will have like bathrooms up in the front. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever been. Maybe this is just a special Walmart and I don't know. But I feel like it doesn't matter. Like most universal grocery stores will at least have a bathroom in the front of the store. But whatever.
It's like a. Okay, it's not like you're a dog. Also,
let's skip through.
Let me just pick up these avocados.
Cool,
so I'm like getting avocados, and then I felt it like.
You're buying avocados with your wife?
I was at that time. I was picking.
100% beta.
So I'm like looking for avocados, and then it's like, oh shit, it's time, and my mind immediately goes in like slow motion where I'm doing the calculation. I realized at this moment that there's a real possibility I might shit my pants because it was just like fucking happening. So in that,
my question is, how much did you ignore that you're going to shit yourself? Right? Like, it may just like. Does poop sneak up on you guys like that? Has this happened before? That pooping yourself has sneaked up on you like this? I can understand like a shark or something.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, if you're like elderly, I guess. If you're Andy Ditch, maybe. I'm convinced the quartering is just a slightly better adjusted Cyrax. I really would not give the quartering the Cyrax treatment. I really wouldn't. Only because the Cyrax, I say it like it's a fucking ancient creature. The Cyrax. The Cyrax. I feel like he's like a special case of like there's something mentally wrong with him. Jeremy seems to be, considering that he's like rich, has a lot of businesses, has a wife, has all this stuff, is pretty fucking well adjusted. Cyrax, when he crashes out, like does some crazy fucking shit. When Jeremy cashes out, he just kind of acts like a pompous dick. And I don't think that Cyrax could ever come close to being that well composed. You know what I mean? Oh my god, it's happening again. It's happening again.
But I don't remember the last time I've been like, oh yeah, like usually there's a build up, like, oh yeah, I'm going to need to go to the bathroom sometime here soon. Yeah, his stomach was gargling. Like he knew.
Yeah.
Older.
That moment, by the way,
can I ask, how long between the quesadillas and the moment?
No less than 20 minutes.
Okay.
What? 15 minutes? 15 minutes? This whole time he was one.
All right. Yeah.
So I immediately start doing this calculation. By the way, this isn't like I have not shit my pants as an adult ever since or before that. Since I was out of diapers or whatever. And I start thinking, well, if it happens, I don't want it to be up front by all the checkouts where everybody sees me. So I decide to take.
But you can still make it. What do you mean you don't want it to happen in front of a? You can still make it. If it's out in the front and you're up front with your wife picking out you can still make it. You'll be fine. In fact, you would most likely shit yourself less by taking the short route at risk of being seen by everybody than taking the long route like you did.
The longer route to the back because I know I can kind of duck through like the clothing and like the automobile section. People aren't going to see me in case the inevitable happens.
This is just the most insane thought process that's gone through his head. I think this says a lot about who he is. Didn't he say the bathroom was in the back? No, he said the bathroom is either in the back or the front. In this Walmart, it's like a normal Walmart where the bathrooms are in the front, like across from the checkout.
That's so I never actually knew this part of the story. There were bathrooms in the front. If he's in the front of the store picking avocados in like the fucking produce section, right? There's checkouts next to him. I guess can I draw this or something? Hold on. Give me a second. let me do I have MS Paint on here? I don't know if I do. Usually it does. We'll see if I have a paint feature. I do. Okay, chat. we're gonna have to pirate software this. Please just work with me here for a second. Where'd it go? Hold on. I have to go to screen capture the other screen, because this is not correct. There we go. Okay, so, imagine you're at Walmart. I'm sorry that we're gonna have to fucking do some pirate software things, but just let it work. I've never actually used, ooh. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, actually we'll do it like this. God. Squirt that down. Walmart. This is like the front of the store, right? Walmart. Honestly? Wait, my handwriting is great when I'm just doing with a mouse. That's actually really impressive. So there's Walmart. We're gonna shrink. We're gonna do, ooh. Yeah, okay, this looks like the logo. Sure. Walmart. Yeah. I'm sorry. Walmart. Okay. Walmart. Not sponsored by Walmart, but we're just gonna pretend. So imagine this is like the front of a Walmart, right? You got the doors here. Here are the doors. You enter. And how most grocery stores are. This is such a, hold on. That is such a big arrow. We're gonna do this. Actually, there's like arrow tools. Can I do point down arrow? Say that this is the entrance. Okay, there you go. That's the entrance to the Walmart, right? You enter through the Walmart. There's the Walmart entrance, right? Usually what they will is that they'll have like a little produce section. Usually there'd be like two entrances, right? It'll be like that one and then like this one like right here. So there's your two entrances. This is not to scale, by the way. So here's your two entrances. Entrance number 1 will usually be like where all the checkout, like I think the checkouts would be in between here. There's all your checkout lines. This is the worst fucking display ever. Checkout lines. One side, it'll usually be like a produce section. Like you're walking in and immediately there's all the produce. We'll do here. And then we'll go to this and here. Produce. Fuck. Produce. That's our R. Produce. Perfect. And then the other side will usually be like general goods, like your shampoos, like house goods, right? So do all that, and then over here would be like, God, so stupid. Who's texting me right now? Who's texting me right now? What is my roommate sending me? Girl, what? What the fuck? Okay, so over here in this section, when you walk into the second entrance, it'll usually be like, you know, your fucking other stuff. Oh, I guess there was a text whatever. I'm not doing the text feature. I'm freeballing it. Fuck it. This is your home goods. Home goods over here. Good, awesome. Home goods. And then the rest of the store is like usually in a Walmart, like shit. It's like, you know, they usually have like food and then like toys and then like this, right? So this is like all your foods. Your foods are also along this line, like colds or whatever the fuck. This looks so bad. And then, like, as you're walking around, right, there'll be, like, toys over here. And, like, usually there's something in the corner over here or something. Home goods there. And then we can imagine that, like, the bathrooms would be, like, here, let's do this. We'll do bathroom sign. Bathrooms will be, like, right here, usually. And this is not, like, exclusive to a Walmart. It's, like, anything. Bathrooms here, and then there's bathrooms, like, back here sometimes. Or usually they're, like, back here. Either one of the two. So if Jeremy is, like, let's do, like, a red circle with this. Like, right here. Picking up produce in the produce section. La, 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 I'm getting produce. Oh, shit, I have to shit. he's in his mind, he's thinking it would be more beneficial to go through and dodge through like the clothing section to get to the one that's all the way in the back area than just to go and risk being seen by all the people. Not even risk. Let's be so fucking for real. Let's be so fucking for real. If he's going this way to do the front entrance bathrooms instead of doing his little thing. Oh, the circle's gone. If he's shit. If he's doing this instead of this, realistically, doing this would be more cost effective, one. And two, I doubt that all of these people would be paying attention to him going into this bathroom anyway, because they're too busy checking their stuff out and leaving out the exit to care about this one guy who is trying to avoid shitting his pants in this moment. Does this make sense? Does it? Why the fuck would you just be like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom that's up here and like risk people seeing me? They're too busy getting checked out and trying to go home. They're not paying attention to you. So you would rather, instead of just doing this and realistically thinking that no one's going to pay attention to what I'm doing, you would rather bring more attention to yourself doing this, trying to avoid shitting your pants and going into the far back, than just doing this. Just do this. Don't shit your pants in public. Just do the thing. Anyway, so that's my display of that. I hope you guys enjoyed that of which was that. Let's go back to listening to the story now.
Draw this out. Do I have?
Oh my god, does he draw it out too? That's so funny. We were both like, oh. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. I didn't even notice that. That's so funny. Okay, to be fair, wait, his fucking detail thing is a little bit more generally the same idea, right? That's so funny. I did not watch this video ahead of time. That's absolutely fucking hilarious. So yeah, the ending of that story is that he shits himself. The ending of the story is that he shits his pants. Now, why you would share that to the internet? It's fucking crazy. It's so fucking insane, dude. Anyway. Oh, that's so stupid. But yeah, when you are known as the guy who, like, makes great minds think alike, honestly. But, like, KG's in it with the 2. Jeremy is from my home state, which is embarrassing. I'm sorry. To be honest, if it was his own basement, I don't know if it would have been better. You know what? Here's my new fucking game theory, right? My new game theory is that the reason why he decided that this whole thing would be more cost effective with the Walmart here, that would be more cost effective, is because he's like, damn, there's no basement for me. There's no basement in this Walmart for me to go to the bathroom in. I'm just gonna have to fucking cope with it, I guess. It's so fucking silly. But like the fact that he's like willingly sharing those stories on live streams or whatever the fuck, and knows inherently as a public figure that stuff's going to be like public information, when he willingly shares it himself, and then get mad that other people talk about it. It's like, dude, again, then just don't share it. It's embarrassing that I have to share a name with Mr. Ham Sandwich Cry Boy. Gee, that's funny. Anyway.
Talk about it on your channel, but then when people want to poke at it and be like, that's crazy, that they're not allowed to? They're not allowed to have jokes and have comedy? Wait a second. Didn't Jeremy just say earlier about how he wanted comedy to be saved, and the people that are taking stuff down? It's just weird. Maybe it's different for him. It's different for him.
I know. So your best course of action.
Which, by the way, to be crystal clear, I do not like Jarbo. I do not. But I can respect what he's doing right now. This guy's come at me multiple times. I didn't even know who he was on social media. He would tag me, try to get me in owns, and every time I'd make him look stupid. I'm like, who is this guy? People filled me in.
It's so crazy that we're getting to a point in time where I remember when Matt Jarbo didn't have gray hair. This has been happening for so long that I have to see him now with gray hair, and he's like, he looks like my dad, and I hate it. I hate it more. So yeah, that's what's been going on with Jeremy right now, is that he's flagging people. He's doing a Matt Jarbo kind of thing. It's funny that Jarbo is now stepping in and saying something about it. Let's see. Can we skip to when he's actually saying words? Because I don't really want to listen to JT talk.
Like, oh, that's Monday.
Video. You told me that like at least 3-4 times while I was there.
This guy.
Like, you told me to do the same thing at MythCon 2018. Make a video. You told me that like at least 3-4 times while I was there. Make a video. Own up to your mistakes. Own up to your mistakes and come clean.
By the way, it's not going to fix it immediately for him, but it might at least slow the damage and maybe start a healing process. He's got a long road ahead of him, but by not doing this, it's just going to make it worse and worse as time goes on.
Oh yeah, because all he did was like post it. Does he show it on here? Does he show? Oh, this is interesting. He showed stuff that Mark Jarbo said. I was really hoping that he would show the tweet that he posted as an explanation. I think it's right here, maybe. I'll see. I think there's an article actually that I could probably pull up. What did Matt say here? Okay, I decided to take a look at the Quartering's YouTube channel, and yes, he is absolutely deleting any and all comments about flagging. I did the same thing back then, so I know what he's doing. He's having YouTube block certain words from appearing in his comments without authorization. But everything is fine, right, guys? I'm laughing at this because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He can't stop the response, nor can he mitigate it forever. The more you try, the more people will pile onto you. Just put out an apology, Jeremy. Which is exactly what you said to me to do at MythCon in September of 2018. It's so crazy that this is like a repeat, and yet he can't even take his own advice. It's so interesting. I'm trying to see if he posted, let's see, the actual, yeah. Oh, Brinty, I forgot that Brittany Venti gets involved at some point too, because I think that, the Quartering said this really fucking weird thing about her. Because again, a lot of what got people to kind of look more into Matt's public relationships that he shares, is the fact that he openly sinned for a lot of women. And I think he said at one point about Brittany Venti on a live stream that he would put a baby in her. So fucking creepy and weird. So fucking creepy and weird. This guy is so fucking creepy and weird. So, of course, when Brittany hears about this, having been, you know, I would argue that's like sexual harassment, but maybe they don't see it that way, whatever it may be. Brittany obviously hears about this whole thing. The Quartering is brain damage. Sorry. The Quartering is brain damage from being an alcoholic and is now claiming his own words are an unknown source. Cuckering continues to play the... Cuckering is funny. The Cuckering continues to play victim, rolling in his own shit, as the Kino Casino is still banned from YouTube due to him encouraging deplatforming them. Alright, do they have the actual... Yeah. Okay, this is the text from Josh Moon. Okay. So this is what has gotten people to assume automatically this is Jeremy, right? Granted, like I had mentioned before, we don't have this guy's report history immediately on deck like Matt Jarbo. What we do have instead is just this full-out flat admission. It says...
Request.
Josh, we can agree I can take their kick in YouTube, right? If I actually wanted to, they would be deplatformed outside of DLive in a week. I can't believe that people still watch DLive. That's crazy. I don't want that. I just want them to leave my family alone. I don't care how many Jeremy is a cuck videos they put out. Like I have a non-Pajit YouTube rep, and basically what they mean by that is that they have an actual human that represents their YouTube channel and can look into issues for them instead of an automated system. I hate that they call it a non-Pajit YouTube rep because that's inherently kind of racist towards Indians, but like, that's what he's saying, right? I have a non-Pajit YouTube rep. You know that, right? One phone call, gone. I have endured a lot with literally the tiniest request. They actually think they have an incredible ceiling. They are hilarious. I can't read the rest of this because it's blocked out, but I mean, when you hear this, right? Can we agree I can take their kick in YouTube down? One phone call, it's all gone, and then suddenly all these channels start calming down. Obviously him. What do you mean? It's just so crazy. It's just so stupid, man. It's like 2018 is repeating itself. It's happening all over again. I can never escape. I can never escape. Anyways, so
he was the one who mentioned.
No. Shush. So, Quartering's going through it, and honestly, good. No, I'm kidding. To be fair, the fact that out of everything that the Quartering's done, from like sexually harassing women, scamming people, literally harassing a woman in Magic the Gathering for having, like, skimpy cosplays, even though they're not skimpy at all, to the point that she had to, like, stop cosplaying altogether because of his antics. Just being a general dick writer for, like, right-wing extremism. The fact that he just blatantly gets stories about politics wrong because he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. The fact that it took, like, abusing the copyright system to finally have him, like, under actual genuine scrutiny from his own community is embarrassing. Because it's like, I could have named, like, 5 things. Like scamming your audience, for instance, with your stupid stuff and e-begging and pissing in a basement. I could have thought of so many things. But you know what? A cockroach is persistent, I guess. So, that's what's going on with Jeremy. I imagine, considering that this is all new news, it's all fresh in the public sphere, it will only get worse from here. But I want to talk about our next topic, which goes into actual, real political figures, and not just weirdos on the internet giving their political hot takes, despite the fact they have no idea what they're talking about. Let's talk about Kristi Noem. So, if you don't know who Kristi Noem, I guess I should probably pull up a picture of her so you guys are having her in your head right now. Because she has been my point of fascination for quite a bit. So, let's look at our fine specimen. So, this is Kristi Noem, right? Here she is. If you didn't know who Kristi Noem was, she was involved in Trump's cabinet as they called her the ICE Barbie because she was the director of Homeland Security, and ICE, and border stuff, it kind of falls in that wheelhouse. She got ousted, and it's not for the reasons you think. So her and Pam Bondi recently had been ousted from the Trump administration completely, because if there's anything you should know about at least yes, the dog shooter. Yes, the person who wrote in her book that she had to shoot her dog because I think from what I remember, the dog was untrainable. Like, it was like a newfound puppy, or that, like, she took from another owner because the owner was like, oh, this dog's untrainable, I don't want him, so she took it in. Then she took this puppy that has no hunting training, out hunting pheasants, and it scared him off. And then it attacked a goat after that. Like, it got out of the car, jumped out of the moving truck that when they were going home, attacked a neighbor's, like, farm, and they attacked some of their goats. So she decided to take care of the problem and shoot the dog in a gravel pit. That's the story. It's in her book. So she becomes a very loyal Trump Republican. And there's a big difference between, like, the Republican Party, like, standard Republicans and Trump Republicans. And I say that just because I look at people like Thomas Massie, who has been fighting about the Epstein files, actually willing to cooperate with other Democrats like Ro Khanna. And I'm like, that's what a real Republican is one that's willing to disagree, but at least cooperate, right? Trump Republicans will not cooperate. They are more of, like, about party loyalty, and especially loyalty to the president, than they would do with, like, the co-opting and, like, actually working with their own party, and especially not with the Democrats. There's no way in hell they would do that, right? So this is ICE Barbie, as they've given her the nickname of, because she was the head of DHS, which ICE falls within the landscape of DHS. And a lot of people thought that she was getting ousted from the Trump administration because of a lot of the ICE killings that were happening to U.S. citizens. Example, Renee Good, Alex Preddy. There's a lot of others at the moment whose names, those are the 2 names that end up in the news, like, in the mainstream, but there's a lot more others. I actually probably could bring it up real quick. Let me bring this up, because I feel like it's only fair that we talk about all of them instead of just the 2 big ones, right? Obviously, they're the 2 big ones that have been a point of big contention, but there have been more, including the people who have just died in ICE custody as well. So, 6 deaths in ICE custody, 2 fatal and horrific shootings, list of shootings by U.S. immigration agents in the second Trump administration, because there's been a couple. Shooting into vehicles, list of shootings right here. It's a lot of them, right? It's a lot of them. It's a lot, just a lot of shootings. Now, granted, I don't know how many of these are people who are alive or dead at the moment, but, like, it's the fact that their first instinct is to just shoot people, you know, it's just like, just shoot them, fuck it, is a bit alarming, as well as the amount of deaths. I mean, dude, it's scary. It's really scary. It doesn't feel real. It feels like so much unnecessary suffering for no fucking reason, right? It's just awful. I mean, this is certainly not how I was raised. You know what I mean? Like, I was raised as a kid to respect your neighbors, you know? To respect your fellow man, to try to get along with everybody kind of thing. And, you know, maybe that's not the best way of how I portray myself on the internet, as being kind of a dickhead to other people. But, like, at the very least, like, this is inherently against everything I was raised, you know, to believe. Is that the fact that, like, cruel things are happening. And I understand that a lot of people are taught that the life is cruel, right? Life is unfair sometimes. Not like this. Not, like, intentionally going out of your way to just be cruel and unnecessarily unfair for no fucking reason, right? So, you would think that these horrific acts of just, like, blatant dehumanization of American citizens, nonetheless, American citizens that are doing nothing wrong, would have kicked her out. But no, that's not what actually did it. It was because she ran some sort of ad campaign that apparently Trump had no prior knowledge of funding. Like, she had basically lied about the funds of where DHS's funding was going, and thus that's what got her fired, was funding mismanagement, right? And that sounds stupid, because she should be investigated for the fact that her administration, like, her leadership as DHS got innocent people fucking killed. That doesn't get her investigated, but, like, mishandling Trump's money, the government's money, apparently did. Okay. That's not what I want to talk about, though, because that's too depressing. I want to talk about her husband, who got caught being a bimbo slut. Yay, the stream makes sense now. Yay! So, if you don't know, Kristi Noem hates trans people, as everyone does in the Trump administration, apparently. They hate trans people. They think that trans people are domestic terrorists. In fact, they tried to change the definition. I think under either Trump doing one of those fucking executive orders or something, or they're actually passing it through Congress, are trying to change the definition of what a domestic terrorist is to anyone who is inherently anti-Christian, pro, you know, gender ideology, all this other stuff that's, like, you know, leftist propaganda, leftist evil, or whatever the fuck. And they're trying to say that anybody that inherently disagrees with the fundamentalist Christian right-wing stuff that is very heavily prevalent in the Trump administration and within the Republican Party, anybody who doesn't believe in that or goes against that or speaks up about it is a domestic terrorist. I don't think it's like a stated law or anything, but they're attempting to try to do that. Will it work? No, because it's stupid, but it will not work. But in the midst of Kristi Noem calling trans people domestic terrorists and saying that trans people are the worst and awful, her husband got caught being a little bimbo slut and wearing her clothing with giant fucking balloon titties. Now, you have to understand something about Kristi Noem, is that Kristi Noem has never loved her husband. It's pretty obvious that she's having an affair with somebody who is also working within the Trump administration for fucking years. And that's, like, a known secret. Like, that's, like, an open thing that's been, like, known forever, right? Suddenly, to have been blindsided by her husband, and I put husband because they're probably getting a divorce after this, let's be so fucking for real. But, like, the fact that he has this apparent double life, even though she's been practically humiliating him with this very known affair publicly for years, is, like, the funniest fucking irony. So, I think I want to watch this first one, even though I want to make this fucking clear. These fucking weirdo podcaster bros that you've seen on TikTok now going into, like, political commentary on, like, YouTube and stuff, people like Luke, people like Dean Withers. I don't inherently like these people, but sometimes it's nice to listen to slop every once in a while. So apparently there's new audio messages and I want to hear them. So let's watch Luke here just briefly and just get to the points that are important.
He is married to a guy, pretty normal guy, Brian Noem, who has like a little bit of a funky personal life that we're now learning about. And after the first story broke, every outlet decided, you know what, let's go ahead and do 500 stories about this. And then every girl who Brian Noem had ever put on, so Brian Noem, Kristi Noem's husband, despite them demonizing people for different expressions of gender, Brian Noem actually like strapping huge fake breasts to himself and then doing a pouty face, and then getting on a webcam and talking with bimboification sort of artists or workers who then like degrade him and boss him around, and then he's like, but then he likes them to have really big accentuated characteristics, bodily, breastily, and then they kind of like pout at each other.
This is so fucking weird. Politics is so funny, man. It's so, especially when it's stuff like this. Can we get more stuff like this? This is so fucking funny. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Oh fuck. Okay, so oh shit. Okay, so I guess the best way to describe what this is, I wouldn't call it like a trans kink, right? Where he wants to be, I mean, in the text messages he says he would like to be a woman or something, but I think it's more of like a degradation thing. Because you have to understand, right, that these people are people that kind of view women as property, right? So when when they say that he has like a bimboification thing, I think the reason why he kind of puts on this like extra persona of feminine features is because he inherently sees it as weak. I don't think Brian Noem has like is trans or like has gender dysphoria and like seeks out dominatrix bimbos to feel more like a woman. I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that like given their Christian fundamentalist way of being raised, that he believes that women are property and thus are inherently weaker. So when he seeks out this sort of property kink thing, where he gets degraded, he thinks it's more degrading, and he thinks it's more sexually gratifying to degrade himself as down to womanly features and portraying himself as a woman, because the way he was raised to fundamentally believe that women are property to men due to Christian fundamentalism. So that's why he puts on the whole woman persona. It's because it's part of a degradation thing, because he degrades women because he doesn't believe that women are equal to men. That's what my theory is. It's not like a trans thing where he sexualizes trans people. It's more of he sees women as objects. He wants to be treated and degraded as an object. Therefore, this. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's my theory anyway.
And so that's what we learned already. We know that. Okay. Well, now Kristi Noem's gone missing from her job. She got fired from DHS secretary, but they gave her a new job, which was like a fake job. And
oh my god, I forgot about this. Oh wait, it actually might say it. Hold on. So the new position that they gave Kristi Noem is Special Envoy for the Shield of Americas. This is not a real thing. This is something that Trump made up completely, so that it's like you're not getting fired, you're just getting like demoted essentially, you know what I mean? And it's just, so she's not out of the administration, she's just, you know, existing in a fucking different sect that doesn't actually exist, which is really, really, really funny. We'll get rid of this and we'll go back to this.
Then we're going to listen to audio of Brian Noem because we can.
Yes.
Why, Luke?
Please.
Is that important? No, it's not. But we
Get
can.
me the audio.
And so
I
we
wanna.
will. Because we're American, as Tucker Carlson would say. And I'm American, so I'm not going to apologize for that, period.
This is another thing. This is why I hate being a leftist sometimes. Why do we all talk like this? Why do we all sound like this? I don't understand. Why do we all put on this whole pompous little, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not, like, gay, but it's, like, this whole, like, pompous, uppity, kind of higher pitched, like, well, it's almost like a Ben Shapiro, but for leftism. Well, actually, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know why all of these, like, TikTokers who do politics that transition into having their own political commentary shows that is, like, professional lighting and all this shit. Why they all, one, sound like this, and two, all look like this. I hate it.
Noem is said to be barely showing up at the office for her seemingly made-up position as special envoy to the Shield of America.
Seemingly made-up position is so funny. It's so funny. All right, that's really awesome.
Americas. At least 4 people who followed her from DHS in the role have already been placed on administrative leave after this Brian Noem story dropped. Kristi Noem's missing. She's missing from her.
God, she's such a loser, man. She's such a loser. It's so funny. Like, she's like, and she's also in her 50s and looks relatively good for her age. I know that a lot of people like to say that she got like the Mar-a-Lago face, and she definitely does have like that Frozen, but she looks like decent for her age. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say she's an ugly person or anything. She's clearly not. She's ugly inside, you know? Why do people that always look like this, even though they're generally the attractive type apparently for Trump, why do they always have to be so ugly on the inside? They look inherently pretty okay otherwise. You know what I mean? It's so fucking stupid. All right, is there any part of this where I can actually see the audio? Because, is it this? Please. That'd be great. I don't want to have to listen to all
This dominatrix. Here's a photo. Oh, I don't know if we can show that photo. Here, we'll just do
No, show it, you pussy. No, I'm kidding.
the face. This is, there it is. Who spoke.
Wow. Oh. I'm not gonna say it. What I find so interesting is that I'm not laughing at how she looks at all. I'm laughing at the fact that this is the type of administration that is very anti-woke. And part of being anti-woke is also being anti, like, body positive, because if they put, like, body positive people, you know, not pro-fat or anything like that, but people who are, like, more, who tries to, like, you know, put more positivity in weight loss and, like, describing, you know, expressing yourself in any body type kind of thing, bringing, like, positivity to every body type kind of thing. So when you're usually, like, anti-woke, you're always, like, somebody who is super critical of fitness as well. And you'll see this if you're ever in, like, the fitness sect. A lot of these people who are just, like, it's not body positive, you're just fat, and that's a bad thing. And they're also, on top of that, like, usually anti-woke and, like, anti-progressive Republican kind of right-wing toy things, right? So the fact that we're dealing with somebody who is literally married to Ice Barbie, anti-trans, super anti-woke because of the Trump administration, and the people who are degrading him are, like, these kind of, like, visibly plus-size people that have very exaggerated features and makeup and, like, all that other stuff. It's just everything that is inherently against this whole anti-woke mindset. Someone would look at this person right here, and I could already imagine it in my brain, right? You can see the fucking anti-woke thumbnail already. Fat progressive bitch gets owned by fitness guru. And it's like it'll, like, have her in there, and it'll, like, show, like, a red circle or something, and it'll have, like, pointing little arrows and being like gets triggered, fat, or something like that. I don't know. But I can totally see someone looking at this being like, oh, she's definitely a leftist because she's probably pro body positivity, pro fatness, whatever. And, like, you see someone like that, and you're like, I wonder the type of men that she adheres to. I wonder the type of men that talk to her, and it's always a Republican. That's the same thing happens with trans sex workers as well, right? The same thing happens where you see a trans sex worker or somebody who's in sex work who is, like, you know, gender expressive or whatever it may be. All of their clientele that hits up their DMs are always, like, Republican men. It's the same thing. They may make stupid thumbnails where they're calling us, like, woke, triggered sissy, but they're in our DMs wanting to fuck us. It is so often. This happens so often. Uh-oh, I'm falling. I'm sideways, and I'm dead. Hey, I don't have like a proper stand to put my webcam on, but I do think it's funny midway through when I'm bashing my table that the camera falls. So I'm not going to fix it.
To the Daily Mail and gave them audio of a discussion she had with Brian Noem. So this is Dominatrix on the phone with Brian Noem.
I think actually we go to dinner at an expensive place.
I'm sorry. That was the way that they edited it is not funny because when the audio started, I thought her mouth was moving. I thought that was her voice for a second. I thought I was like, oh, she's trans on top of that. That's so fucking crazy. No, and they're playing the audio from the thing.
We go to Serendipity for dessert.
Ooh.
You know what Serendipity is?
I've heard of it. I've seen some articles on it.
Do you know what serendipity is? It sounds serendipitous.
What are we watching? Why? Do you see why I keep saying, why do we all sound like this? Because that was too well done. That was too well done.
I think we should go there for dessert.
Yeah.
And I would bow to you.
What if people saw us together?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, wow. Hold on, wait.
Saw us.
First of all, this makeup is fucking cunt, man. She is hot. You know what? I make fun of Brian Noem for this. I would too. Mommy can dom me too. Never mind. Never mind. Fuck. Never mind. Oh my god. That's so fucking crazy. Dude, she's hot. I too would say I don't give a fuck if people saw us in public. I would look like the hottest person in the room if I came in walking with someone that looks like this. Are you fucking joking me? Are you? That's absolutely fucking crazy.
Together.
I don't give a fuck.
Not even if you got recognized?
I love how they have to bleep the F word. Like, what are the standards here? We can't hear the word F. I mean, I won't say it, but we can hear.
This is why I hate these guys. Stop being fucking pussies. Just say fuck. God.
Oh, when are we gonna get for dessert? What are the standards here for appropriateness? By the way, whoever commented that their young kids watch this show, out of the room right now. No. You can't watch this segment.
I don't care. You know what I want?
What?
To be seen with you.
Yeah?
I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Yeah.
It's time we be seen together.
You told me you loved me, didn't you?
I do love you.
Do you?
This is so awkward. Why is like I why is it that every time we have like a sex scandal with like a Republican, the sex talk is always the most awkward fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. It's just so it's always delayed. It's always the most unflattering thing you've ever heard in your life. Like, and look, whatever this guy wants to do in his private life is fine. But if you're gonna go around saying that trans people are like evil and like we need to invade what they do with their body and their private autonomy, then you shouldn't be shocked with people. Again, it's the whole, you could be wrong about your politics, you can have the wrong opinion about everything, you could be wrong socially, you could be behind the times. That's fine. That's what's gonna screw you. What screws you is being a hypocrite, and that's what's happening right now. And this wouldn't even matter all this much if Brian Noem and Kristi Noem just minded their own fucking business. None of this would inherently matter at all if either one of those two just minded their own fucking business. That's the ironic thing, is that I think most people, especially on the left, would be completely accepting of Brian Noem you know, doing this whole, like, sissy dominatrix thing and being with another woman. Because, let's be honest, Kristi Noem is cheating on him all the time with another dude anyway. So, like, inherently, I'm like, yeah, he's a cheater too, but they both are. So, like, I can't even knock it. You know what I mean? I can't even knock his shit. But, like, the reason why this is getting made fun of and the reason why people are not as forgiving, not as generous about it as they would be, is because these people don't mind their own fucking business when it comes to trans people. So, like, the fact that you are putting on fake tits for another woman, yeah, that's gonna get called out. You know what I mean?
So much better than your wife, aren't I?
You're so much better.
You can't live without me, can you?
I can't.
Why would they add the fucking boom sound effects? I hate this. I hate this so fucking much. It's so cringe. This was already cringe. This was already inherently really cringe. It's already cringe because we're listening to a Republican man try to talk dirty when he can't because he's like a fundamentalist Christian doing something inherently, I guess, for the first time. He's talked so much. He sounds like a virgin. That's what I'm saying. But, like, dude, add the Vine booms to it with this guy's stupid face that you can't see because of the chat. I'm sparing you, by the way. I'm sparing you, inherently. It's just so cringe. It's so fucking ridiculous, man.
Just so weak and desperate for me.
Yes, God, thank you.
Don't bring God into this. Yes, God, thank you. I don't know if I want to play the last 3 seconds. I'm
Do it, you fucking pussy.
getting the vibe based on the voice tones that in that last 3 seconds there might be some sort of conclusion that I don't want to be a part of. Is that
I do. Fuck you. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm kidding. Oh god, copyright says no. No, not again. Oh, it's so... Oh, fuck. It's so fucking cringe, dude. It's so fucking cringe. She doesn't deserve to be with him. I hope that... Listen... Girl, make your money however you want. You're clearly gorgeous. You have a talent, which is being a dominatrix sexy bimbo. You do you. Do not do it for Brian Noem, though. He doesn't deserve that shit. Maybe if the money's good. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's really funny that the reputation of this person who was trying to portray themselves as like this authoritative, we're gonna get immigrants out of our country, their reputation is essentially ruined by the fact that their husband is a bimbo slut. That's the best news ever. That's so funny. Come on. That is so funny. How do you not think that that is inherently really fucking funny? I think it is. And you know what? No one would have cared and none of that would have been as damaging as it is if Kristi Noem was just minded her own business about trans people. That's it. You know, if she wasn't, you know, breaking into people's homes and tearing families apart at the border and keeping kids in cages and all this other shit, if she wasn't killing people on the streets, then her husband being a bimbo slut, it wouldn't have been newsworthy and no one would have really cared. But it's the fact that she had to be is what makes this really funny. So, the next thing I want to talk about is everything pertaining around what's been happening in the last, I think, 2 weeks. Because there's been a couple things that have happened in the last 2 weeks that are all of which are very fucking funny. All of which are very fucking funny. So, I don't really know how to talk about war stuff. You know, there's a war going on. There's wars going on all the time, right? And I don't know how to talk about it because I don't inherently know the inherent political stuff that's going on in the Middle East. All I know is that Israel seems to be a big reason why we're going to war with Iran. It's pretty fucking obvious. They've been wanting domination in the Middle East for a very long time, and the way they're going about doing that is just by slaughtering a bunch of brown people. because Netanyahu is very much not in favor of brown people, as you can tell from the way that he talks about them. But a lot of the belief that a lot of people are having around the war stuff that's happening, aside from the involvement of Israel and our alliance with Israel, is and by our I mean the United States, not me, but like what a lot of people have theorized is that this whole Iranian war started because they're trying to distract people from the Epstein files, which have been released, only about 2% of which, and most of it is blocked out by the fucking black marker, essentially. And we spent pretty much a good 2 to 3 months hammering in on that issue up until the war started, and it seems to sort of die down up until this happened. So, for those of you who don't know, there's been a lot of theory speculating around how Melania met Donald Trump and how they became a thing. People saying that they met through a couple different financiers, but the one that has been speculated has been outright confirmed, I guess, from Jeffrey Epstein himself and Michael Wolff, who is the writer behind the book that exposed Epstein, was that Melania Trump met Donald Trump through Jeffrey Epstein, right? And there's always been some sort of like interest in how much she did and did not know, and so because there's been a lot of speculation, including an account, I'd actually have to find it real quick because I don't think I have it brought up here, on Twitter. Twitter account expose, I guess is the best way to fucking search that up. Yes, here it is. So, what people are speculating as of the recent events is that, excuse me, is this just not going to go away? There you go. Is that Melania's old friend, Amanda Ungaro, who does have a verified account on Twitter, and she kind of went on this thread rant on Twitter, basically saying that she was going to expose Melania Trump. Hello, Melania. I was around you for 20 years. You knew I was inside ICE, and you know what hurts after all this time. I stayed close to your family, your mother and your father, not because of you, but because of them at events and everything else. So shut your mouth when speaking about me, because I will expose everything I know. So, that is what is making a lot of people speculate as to why she then proceeded to bring up the Epstein issue in an official speech that was coordinated and planned and scheduled by the United States government for her to give this speech. Apparently, Trump had no idea that she was doing this, which I find really fucking interesting. And because she feels so threatened about her ex-friend exposing her connection to Epstein, because apparently she got deported and Melania did not help her when she was getting deported, she's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to tell everybody that you were connected to Epstein. So now she has to make an official White House, completely planned out by the White House and our government speech, defending herself about not being a victim of Jeffrey Epstein's. Why? Because one of her friends is like, I'm about to get petty. And I think that's amazing. So we're going to watch just a little bit of this. I can speed it up. It's only about 5 minutes. So I'm going to speed this up. I don't know why the fucking quality is at 3. Is that as high as it goes? That's fucking crazy. Okay, fine, whatever.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
And here's the fucking wildest part about this too, guys. Everyone pretty much stopped talking about the Epstein stuff because of the war that was going on, right? I'm going to see if I can turn this up a little bit louder. That's loud. But basically the Jeffrey Epstein thing was just kind of something that it's not that we stopped talking about it, it just kind of phased out of the mainstream news. This just reignited it and put it back in the face of the mainstream news again. And Trump apparently had no idea that she was doing this, which I think is kind of cunty, I'm not gonna lie. I may not like this person. I may not like Melania and the fact that she associates herself with sexual predators, but Going against your husband and doing something behind his back publicly in front of the entire nation? Kind of cunty. Kind of a mood. Kind of cunty.
The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect.
Ironic coming from the woman that decided to marry a man who has allegations of raping children with Jeffrey Epstein. So, it writes itself, man. It really does.
I do not object to their ignorance, but rather, I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation.
You know what's so interesting, too? I should also mention that every fucking time that Melania's name is uttered in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, she sues the shit out of them, right? There was a couple of times where people are, like, speculating Trump's connection to Epstein and what that says about Melania, right? So they would either be like, oh, Melania met Trump through Epstein, or, like, Melania was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, which is true, by the way, because there's emails of them literally being like, love you, hope I see you in New York. So, like, clearly they were friends. And so every time stuff happened where someone tries to link Melania having a public relationship with Epstein or even Ghislaine Maxwell, she sues the shit out of them. Which usually that's done privately. Usually that becomes a couple articles sometimes, and then people forget about it most of the time and it moves on. And a lot of those, like, lawsuits don't even, like, get pushed forward all the way. It's just, like, they sue them to hope to silence them, and then everyone kind of moves on. This is the first time she's ever doing something this fucking extreme. I have to imagine, and a lot of people are imagining the reason why she's doing this is because she's expecting something big to come out due to the fact of, like, the whole Amanda Ogaro thing. And let me just say this. If whatever big fucking Jeffrey Epstein news drops or whatever the fuck, because it happens on fucking Twitter, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to be so fucking angry. I'm like, where are we getting fucking Jeffrey Epstein, credible Jeffrey Epstein drops on fucking Twitter, instead of, like, through the United States government, who literally passed a law, whatever law that they had Trump sign or whatever that the victims were pressing. They literally have a Jeffrey Epstein Act to get all of the information about this case out to the public as unredacted as possible. Not only did they break that law immediately and said, nah, fuck it, we're not going to do anything more than what we've already done or whatever the fuck, but on top of that, we're gonna have to learn more news. If we ever want the truth about Jeffrey Epstein to come out, it's gonna have to come from some rando on Twitter. I hate this. I hate this.
I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell.
Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on, this is important. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on, this is important. Give me a second. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna pull up this, and then we're gonna, hold on. Can we actually open the image in a new tab? There we go. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do, oh, can it not? Okay, there we go. Oh, wait, oh, that's interesting. Huh. Like, screen share is just, it doesn't matter if I move this out of the way, it's just immediately just still stuck here. It looks like there's two things on my screen, that's crazy. Okay, so, we're gonna go back, go back, go back, go back. Okay, and we're just
I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
Yeah, sure, okay, whatever. Sure, buddy. Sure, okay. Yeah. Why did that mute instead of just Oh, wait, did I do? Oh, I muted the tab. Wait.
I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings.
See, I think other people were pointing this out too. It's the fact that she took the time to address like serious allegations of her knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein or whatever the fuck else. To take the time to promote her book is so funny. it's so funny. Will you ever do a clavicular stream? Dude, I want to like analyze that whole manosphere thing so bad. There's just so much content. One of the streams is literally just 12 hours long of them going to a club playing that song that Kanye made about loving Hitler, and that's 12 hours of content. Not gonna lie, Melania looked more like a human when she was younger. Well, again, it's the Mar-a-Lago face. You guys gotta do a lot of plastic surgery to be accepted in the world of Trump, okay? Most people look human before getting that close to Trump. Just looked at Kash Patel's face. Mother... That's so funny. That's so funny.
Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. False. Didn't happen. Now look, I understand that we exist in the age of AI where like AI images are looking almost too, but it has existed for way before AI became like part of the mainstream public thing. So you know, it's just and look, I mean, when you look at pictures of, like, Melania with Epstein, the only one that prominently kind of shows up seems to be at this very same party, right? And if she wants to say that's the only time she's ever met Epstein, the images really do show that that's the case, that there's only really one known picture with Melania and Jeffrey Epstein, and it's just this one. If she wants to claim, like, this is the only fucking known image of her existing with Epstein, and by the time that this picture was taken, she had no clue about his criminal activity, that's fine. I believe that by the time this picture was taken, most people probably didn't know. Unless if this was, like, back in 2008, in which place they were already a sex offender by this point, but, you know. But still, to say that, and to, like, use the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing as a ways to, like, one, promote your book and, like, learn the real story of how I met my husband and that kind of thing is, like, so, it's so weird to use an opportunity of, like, children being raped and trafficked and, like, even allegedly being killed and eaten by the fucking rich billionaire elite. It's so much worse than we thought, apparently. As a means to, like, clear your image and clear you instead of, like, bringing any sort of, like, uplift to the victims, instead putting a lot of, like, the responsibility on them is so fucking scummy. I mean, I understand, like, watching, you know, Melania and, like, even with her whole outburst during Christmas, like, there's, like, this whole fucking phone call where she's like, nobody gives a shit about Christmas, why do I gotta do all this fucking work? Like, it makes sense why she married Donald Trump, you know what I mean? I always had the opinion, and I think a lot of people had this opinion, that she was just with Trump for the money. But, like, it's been this long, it'd be a little hard to believe. You know what I mean?
I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. She's in the Epstein files. She has emails with Ghislaine Maxwell. For that reason. So that's just inherently not fucking true. That's just not true.
I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime.
I understand that English is her first language, so I'm not trying to make fun of her or anything like that. Convinced of a crime is really funny. I'm sorry, it just is. It's so, and it's weird that we're getting this kind of like press conference, an official White House press conference, from somebody who English is not their first language, yet we're dealing with ICE on top of everything else, right? Who is just like arresting someone and like taking them away from their family and holding them in these facilities because they don't speak English or they look a certain way. Meanwhile, our first lady is a woman who English is clearly not their first fucking language. And it's like, what? So apparently not speaking English is not enough of a sentiment to keep you out of the fucking White House, but it is enough apparently to have ICE knock down your door and rip you apart from your family. It's all about money. It's all up and down. It's not this way, it's this way. It's all up and down. The reason why it's not so much of an offense when fucking Melania doesn't know how to speak English properly, but it is an offense if you're just an average person working in America trying to make your life better, is because she has money and you don't. That's it. That's it. She can, like, speak broken English all you want, but God forbid your fucking Spanish-speaking neighbor says hola to you, and then all of a sudden ICE shows up. You know what I mean? It's so fucking stupid.
In connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation.
Your sound reputation? Have you ever had a sound reputation? I don't think so. I think inherently being married to a dementia-ridden fucking sex offender doesn't exactly keep your reputation in good spirits. I'm just saying.
To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone.
I hate this. This is so So she's like up here being like, I'm not a witness to Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know anything about him, blah, blah, blah. But then suddenly she's like, oh, Epstein didn't work alone. Clearly not. You know, how would you know that, though, if apparently you were never a witness to anything he did? I get that, like, the Epstein files are out and whatever, that, like, some of them are, but not all of them. And apparently they're worse than we think. But they're not going to do anything about it, and they're not going to release any more, right? So it's like, you can't be like, I didn't know anything. I clearly didn't know anything. But he clearly is not working alone, and there's this huge grand conspiracy. It's like, then tell us then. Tell us if he wasn't working alone, then tell us who he was working for. You're literally in public office where they are holding all this information within the FBI and the DHS or wherever the fuck. Release them yourself, then, or at least say something. Say what you know. Because clearly this statement enough, for me, says that you know way more than you're leading on. You know what I mean?
Prominent male executives resign from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony.
Yeah, they did that. They did that actually with Pam Bondi, who then proceeded to not look them in the eye the entire time and pretended like they weren't there and just talk about how the Dow was doing really good. So you want Congress to act and do something, but like what they then did do was just like have Pam Bondi lie her fucking ass off the entire fucking time. Like, if you want there to be active change, Melania, I think what you could start by doing is telling us what you know. If you're saying that Epstein didn't work alone, then clearly you know more. Having fucking, like, again, this is what I mean when I say that she's pushing it onto the victims to say and do more. It's like they need to provide their sworn testimony. They have been For fucking years they have been. It's time for you. I know the First Lady doesn't inherently have a lot of power, I think. She's just more of a figurehead kind of position. But, like, it's time for you to talk to your demented, riddled husband and be like, hey, you have access to all this shit. You literally signed into law an act that is supposed to release all of this publicly. Get your new fucking DHS secretary, Tom Blanche, to fucking do something. You know what I mean? God, it's so obnoxious. These people are annoying and I hate all of them.
Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
And that's that. That's the weirdest fucking thing ever. The fact that she did this, allegedly, of course, under the condition that potentially her ex-best friend that got deported, that she didn't save from getting deported, is going to expose her on Twitter is really funny. And I would like to think that that is the reason why this is happening. I would like to think that the only reason she did this is because inherently she's just like, oh God, Amanda's going to start talking. I like that. I like that petty girl shit. So let's talk about this. Come on. It's not that he's funny. It's the fact that he's this stupid to be that. It's laughing at someone being dumb and not the fact that they're a comedic genius that thought this was funny. No. This is just funny on principle of I get to laugh at a stupid fucking person. So Trump depicted himself as Jesus. And I'm gonna be honest, I have seen this so often that I don't fucking care. I have seen so many people portray politicians as like different, fucking religious figures and whatever the fuck, that like when somebody portrays themselves as Jesus, I couldn't give two shits. It's the fact that speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, it's the fact that he portrays himself as Jesus. This apparently gets Christians upset, even though they were the one that voted him in. It's the fact that he's got some weird, like, demonic shit behind him. And it's the fact that the person that he seems to be blessing in this photo, kind of looks like Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, let me zoom in here real quick. I can't believe, is there any way to move? I can't move the, okay. Can I not move the, a little bit. I don't think its intention is to be Jeffrey Epstein. I just think it's funny that it kind of looks like him. I just think it's a little funny that it kind of looks like him. Now, obviously, Trump had to remove this because it upset a lot of evangelicals, which is his main base at this point. I don't inherently fucking care, but what have I just entered into? Trump blessing Jeffrey Epstein. But it's the fact that he posted this and this upsetted anyone, really, when it's like, he's posted himself as Master Chief and all these other, like, really important figures, that him posting himself as Jesus does not shock me anymore. Nothing he does really shocks me because he's just that terrible, but, like, the fact that this genuinely actually upsetted, like, a lot more people than expected is kind of crazy. Because, like, I inherently don't care, really, if people want to portray themselves as different, like, religious people, because none of it's fucking real anyway. But, like, it's the fact that he posted this with Jeffrey Epstein, is someone that looks vaguely like Jeffrey Epstein, and he didn't think that that was a problem, is so funny. Come pick me up, I'm scared. I'm also... It's not meant to be Epstein. Well, I don't think it is. It just kind of looks like him. He literally tweeted about wiping out Iranian civilization, yet this is where you draw the line. No, that's exactly my fucking point, actually. That's exactly my point. You guys draw the line at a portrayal of Jesus, which a lot of people have portrayed themselves as Jesus before. This is where you draw the line, but him being like, I'm gonna nuke Iran and kill millions of people tonight doesn't fucking make you go, what the fuck is this guy's fucking problem? This is what draws the line for you, and not the fact that he threatened to wipe out an entire civilization. But I did want to hear, even though he's not my favorite person, JD Vance. JD, if you didn't know, is like a born-again Christian, like a born-again, like, Catholic. And so he was asked about the portrayal of Donald Trump portraying himself as Jesus because it is newsworthy, apparently, I guess. And this is what he had to say about it, because I'm, I guess, curious, even though JD Vance is boring and I think he's a loser and I don't really care. No, I'm kidding. I just think that it's funny that, like, how obviously spineless this guy is. A lot of people are trying, especially when we get into our last topic, are trying to rally around JD Vance as like the successor of the America First movement. Not even just MAGA, because MAGA is inherently Trump. But America First, like Americans, you know what I mean? Like American nationalists, let's just put it that way. Let's just name it what it is. It's American nationalism. And it's the fact that they're trying to rally around this guy who is so obviously so, like, spineless and, like, has literally no moral compass at all. JD, isn't there a couch you should be attending to? and he's just known as a couch fucker. That's all. That is his legacy, is just having literally no spine and being a couch fucker. You know what I mean? That's it.
States JD Vance. Pope Leo has expressed problems with the war in Iran, says that we should be peacemakers, been very vocal. The president took to Truth Social saying Leo...
Oh, yeah, he's been also attacking the Pope. So there's this other thing that's going on with Pope Leo, too. And it's the fact that I think that they had, like, an American embassy try to invite him to America. They were trying to invite him to some sort of event for Easter. He said he didn't want to go because he doesn't support the war in Iran like most people don't. And they based the rumor, and I have to say it's a rumor because there's not really a confirmation with like audio or anything like, you know, physical to actually confirm this. That they essentially said that we can do whatever the fuck we want and the Pope better get on the right side of American history or whatever the fuck. And also, they were, like, mentioning this part of history. I don't remember the exact event off the top of my head, where apparently France tried to overthrow the Pope and, like, essentially assassinated the Pope at one point. And they just casually mentioned how funny that was, you know, in front of the Pope, allegedly, because there's not really any confirmation one way or another. But it's just, basically, JD's, like... you know, response to that will be like, you know, we can disagree, you know, the Pope can have his own opinion, blah, blah, blah. And that he doesn't particularly find any of this really newsworthy. Granted, neither do I. I think threatening the Pope is newsworthy. I don't think portraying yourself as Jesus really matters all that much.
Should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be Pope. Was only put there because the church, because he was an American, they thought he would be good, best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. Just wondering.
Oh my God, this is something he's been doing too a lot. Luna Ember with the 199. JD took the phrase "cushion the blow" to literally. Cushion the blow is so funny. That's fucking crazy. I mean, there's also the fact that JD was going to Hungary to campaign for a far-right politician, Viktor Orban, which led to him being destroyed in the election. Don't tell anybody. Please, nobody make this a well-known fact. Don't tell him. Shh. I like to think that JD Vance is like the kiss of death. Every time he shows up, he showed up to visit the last Pope, he dies. He shows up to Hungary to advocate for a politician. He fucking loses. Okay? This man has bad luck. He has bad juju for somebody. But I just think that, like, the fact that Trump has been taking credit for a lot of things that historically has been happening is so weird. Like, he took credit for the fact that they killed Osama bin Laden. Like, he was just like, Osama, he got assassinated, but that was my idea. Oh, Pope Leo wouldn't have become the Pope if it weren't for me. Like, what? He's insane. He's an insane person, and the fact that I was ever indoctrinated, not just by, like, anti-SJWism, but just by, like, Trumpy family members and, like, Trumpism. The fact that, like, I was ever indoctrinated into believing that, no, this is fine, this is normal, you know. Trump's not that bad of a guy. The fact I was ever indoctrinated in any of that stuff makes me so fucking angry. It makes me so goddamn pissed off. Because it's like, you people knew he was insane before. And you were trying to implement into me as a child who can't think for herself that this is all completely normal. Now that I'm an adult that I can, I'm so fucking pissed. I'm so mad. It's like, dude. And I'm glad that I have the excuse of being a child that didn't know better, that just had to follow, like, the fucking moral compass of, like, my parents or whoever the fuck was indoctrinating me back then. The people who are, like, grown-ass men who are adults who still dick ride this fucking dude, spineless fucking people. Those are the type of people that that should be shunned out of society. Just how are you that fucking spineless, man? It's so crazy.
As a Catholic, how you consider this Truth Social post, and then the post of the picture, which a lot of people took as the president posting a picture of himself as Jesus. He later said that he posted it as thinking as a doctor saving people.
I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support, and
What do you mean you thought it was a portrayal of you as a doctor? Are you fucking dumb? Are you fucking stupid? I mean, yes, he is. But, like, how do you... Oh, my God, dude. Weird to indoctrinate a child into supporting a pedophile. Exactly. No, it is weird. No, as a grown-up adult looking back on it, I acknowledge that that's so fucking weird. Totally fucking weird. Absolutely. Totally fucking weird.
only the fake news could come up with that one.
But it really caused a kerfuffle, Mr. Vice President. I'm just wondering what you make of all of this, and whether it's what you think of this back and forth with the church.
Well, first of all, Brett, I think the president was posting a joke, and of course he took it down because he recognized...
Of course, because everything's a joke. Everything is a joke. Everything is a way to own the libs. Everything is just a fucking big funny haha. You are in an office of actual fucking importance, of political power that, like, affects the lives of everyday people. I would expect a little... I can accept a little joking, but I expect a little more decorum. You know what I mean? Also, I love this pause that I did. This pause is incredible. His face looks so, like, it looks like it's melting. It looks like his eyes are slowly drifting to the other sides of his head as he speaks. It's... You know what? You know what I was worried about, chat? I was really worried at some point that JD Vance, because he was supposed to do, like, the peace talks that I ran. They sent him and somebody else, and I don't remember the other person at the moment. They sent JD Vance to do peace negotiations about this war in Iran that his fucking boss started. And then instead of his boss going in himself to fix this, they send this guy, right? And I thought it was going to be a setup initially. I'm like, oh, this sounds like they're going to suddenly make peace now under the leadership of JD Vance's great negotiation skills. And he's going to look like the guy who saved America from the war in Iran kind of thing. Basically setting up JD Vance's, like, political run for 2028 president, and they can run on the fact that, oh, he's the one who brought peace to the Middle East kind of thing. Then it failed because JD Vance is just that unlikable. So, thank Christ that he is so much of a monstrous fuck up and a failure that the idea of him becoming president anytime soon, unless Trump dies, that is his only path to presidency, is if that guy fucking dies. Thank God his run for being a 2028 candidate is pretty much dead in the water, because he was sent to bring peace to the Middle East and he failed fucking miserably. It's incredible.
That a lot of people weren't understanding his humor in that case. I think the President of the United States likes to mix it up on social media, and I actually think that's one of the good things about this president, is that he's not filtered. He doesn't send everything.
I think it's a bad thing. I think that's a bad thing. I think using his social media to threaten to kill an entire civilization with a nuke is a bad thing. That's a bad thing. Shut the fuck up, JD Vance. Shut up.
Thing through a communications professional. He actually reaches out directly to the people. You know, when it comes to the disagreements with the Vatican, look, we're going to have disagreements, Brett, from time to time. I think it's a good thing, actually, that the Pope is advocating for the things that he cares about. But we're always going to have disagreements on matters of public policy, or I should say, sometimes we're going to have disagreements on matters of public policy. The Pope has been critical of our immigration policy, but ultimately the immigration policy of the United States is set by Donald Trump. The Pope is going to have disagreements on other issues. We can respect the Pope. We certainly have a good relationship with the Vatican, but we're also...
You have a good relationship with the Vatican, huh, Mr. Vance? The current Pope, Leo, won't even come to the United States, given all the shit that we're doing. He won't even come over here willingly. We've asked, and he said no. So I don't know how that's a good relationship with the fucking Vatican, with the United States, for one. For two, the last time you went and visited a Pope, they immediately died after. That's not a good relationship, JD. You killed a Pope. Like I said, this guy's a spineless hack and he's fucking stupid, but yeah, that's Trump posting himself as, oh god, no, censorship, no. Anyways, that's Trump posting himself as, that part's really funny. It's really funny. I love the funniness of the current year of our Lord, the 2024, 2026. What am I talking about? What year is it? Keep in mind that the current Pope is originally from the United States. Yeah, he won't even come here. That's the crazy thing. Okay, so this is the final thing that I want to talk about. And this is my favorite thing ever. This is my favorite thing. So, Trump has been in politics now for 10 years. He has been president for at least the vast majority of that time, albeit those 4 years when he wasn't. But he's been a president now twice, separated by a 4-year span, right? Mr. Vance, or should I say Mr. Antichrist? Oh, goodness. But anyway, throughout those 10 years, we've been seeing a lot of political commentators come to his defense and basically kind of cheerlead for him over the past 10 years. A lot of those are like social media influencers, or at least started off that way. A lot of them have started off in like Fox News, because Fox News is essentially, you know, the propagation hub for Trump, right? But now we're getting a really interesting kind of dichotomy with Trump and his most loyal online or even most influential supporters from Fox News, right? Let me bring up his little post here. Let's do this. I want to see, because it's a pretty long post. I don't know if it's going to get saved anywhere else. Okay, here we go. So, I think what Trump expected to happen was that what he expected these cheerleaders to essentially kind of stay loyal to him no matter what kind of thing, right? Can you get the fuck out of my way? I don't want to stream Fox News. Get out of it! God damn it! Sorry. I lost my mind. But what a lot of people expected to happen, or at least what I expected, is that no matter what Trump did, because he literally says so himself that he could shoot somebody on 3rd Avenue and he would still have supporters. So I bet what he was expecting to happen was that people like Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Candace Owen, Megyn Kelly, even Joe Rogan to extent, all of these people with like either social media influence or news influence would constantly be supporting him no matter what, up until recently. So the president decided to create this really long Truth Social post talking about people like Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and Candace and Alex and all this stuff, where he called them low IQ losers. So here's the post. If it'll load, if I'm allowed on Truth Social. I am, thank God. So, holy crap, it is long. This guy will tweet, or like post truths, I guess is how he will truth. That's so stupid. He will post truths up until from like 9 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning. It's actually insane. I don't think he's sleeping. I'm gonna be honest. I do not think he is sleeping. So, This is the post that kind of became my favorite thing ever, because I've been saying everything that he's about to say for fucking years, but now that he's saying it himself, and now that like that all of this is kind of crumbling around me, I'm so happy. Not that it's coming from him directly that makes it happy for me, but the fact that it's finally being called out on a grand scale and it's not just me saying it is really nice. So, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have been fighting me for years, even though they haven't been. I don't know what the fuck he means by this. I don't know what the heartwarming, the worst people you know are fighting. Exactly. Yes. When he says has been fighting me for years, they've literally been your biggest fucking supporters. I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to mean, but I understand why these people have been fighting me for years, even though they were literally my biggest supporters and literally were the reason I was put in power, because they would cheerlead me for years, but whatever. Especially by the fact that they think that it's wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror. I'm sorry, I thought that the #1 state sponsor of terror was Afghanistan, and like under the rule, or not even Afghanistan, but like... Actually, you know what? I shouldn't be saying this. The state sponsor of terror is insert literally any fucking Middle Eastern country here. Because it was Afghanistan, then it was Saudi Arabia, then it's literally whatever country has brown people in it. That's literally the thought process of, like, most fucking right-wing idiots. Like, the state sponsor of terror is literally insert any Middle Eastern country here. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, it's just that we hate brown people. That's literally their thought process, right? Especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common. Low IQs. Eat. These stupid people, or they're stupid people, they know it. Their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes. They never did. They all have been thrown off television, lost their shows. First of all of this, even though this all did happen, like with Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones, they all essentially have been losing everything, and they had to go independent in order to stay relevant, right? When all of this happened, you blamed the mainstream media for letting them go and being like, oh, they were so woke, they just couldn't handle Tucker. They just couldn't handle Alex Jones. They just couldn't, they're infected by the woke fake news, right? They should, and now that they're all turning against you, it's like, well, the fake news, they were right in getting rid of all of you. It's like, oh my god, it's such petty shit. It is such petty, like, 5-year-old, like, on the playground type shit. It's so funny. They've all been thrown off of television, lost their shows. They aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think that they can get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody talks about them, and their views are opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me, and just gave CNN an 100% approval of Trump. First of all, reminder that this is the guy that bashes CNN as fake news, who is now quoting CNN as having an 100% approval rating of Trump. Keep in mind that this guy is like the lowest ranked, has the lowest approval rating of any president within since Reagan. The lowest since Reagan. He is lower than Biden. He is lower than Obama. He is lower than fucking Nixon. And that is saying something, because that guy literally spied on us, got in a plane, shot up some peace signs, and flew away. Like, anyway. Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. Damn. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox. Damn. And he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Damn. Says the guy with dementia. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me nastily. Every time I read the word nastily, it doesn't feel like a real word. It feels like a word someone made up. Who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man. Oh no. Oh no, he's turning on Candace for her bullshit accusations of trans investigating the fucking leader of France's wife. That's so amazing. when she's not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. What does the First Lady of France even look like, actually? I don't know what she looks like. Hold on. First Lady of France. Brigitte Macron. What does she look like? Oh. She just looks like a person. I mean, how old is she? I actually don't know how old she is. 1953. Math. She's 73. I would understand why somebody in their 80s would find a 70-year-old attractive. Thank God Trump loves somebody within his age range. Thank goodness. I mean, you know, hold on. Wait, I don't even show him. I mean, she's just a person. I like her haircut. I mean, she just looks like a person. I don't know if making comparisons. I mean, you're comparing somebody who's like in their 70s to Candace, who I think is in their not early, but like mid 30s. And saying that this is more beautiful. I mean, to each their own, I guess. I don't think that's a fair comparison, considering the fact that, like, one is, like, they're both in completely different age ranges. So, like, for women, age bracket is going, and how you're judged and how you're seen is completely different. So I don't know if that's, like, a fair comparison. Why am I trying to rationalize the fucking insanity of this pose? She just looks old? Yeah, she just looks like a human, like, just a regular person. So fucking weird. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of Sandy Hook. Damn, he went for the fucking jugular shit. Ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news CNN... This is how you know this guy has fucking dementia. He's like, oh, CNN just gave me an 100% approval rating of Trump, right? And then they're like, but fake news CNN. This is within the same post. He is not sleeping, I'm telling you. He is not getting any sleep. The flailing New York Times and all other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA, they're losers, just trying to latch onto MAGA. Yes, that is true. Technically, all of these people latch onto anything that is popular to try to be the voice of the people and try to, you know, seem like a rational voice of reason when it's just, they're just grifters. Like, that's just real. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on the world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Taylor Brown. See, when I read this, Marjorie Taylor Brown, I was like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, her last name is Green. Is there a Marjorie Brown? Is her real last name Brown? I was getting gaslit and gaslighting myself with this post, being like, no, her last name's Green. It's not Brown. And then I realized the reason why he calls her Marjorie Brown is because apparently she's full of shit. And when you shit in grass, it turns brown. That's the hilarity of this president, everybody. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning and strength and not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons, which there is no proof that they have a nuclear weapon. Literally, somebody resigned from the Trump administration. His name escapes me again because I'm not good with names. He literally is like, hey, Iran is literally not a threat to us and they don't have a nuclear weapon. And he had to resign because they're asking him to go to war for something that does not exist. MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that, but I do. They don't know what they're doing. I do. God, it's so fucking petty. It's so amazing. Because the United States is now the hottest country in the world, anywhere in the world, President Donald J. Trump. So we have that, right? And now everybody's kind of talking about how MAGA is imploding and how, you know, I kind of want to watch... I don't know whose video I want to watch about this. I was going to watch Philip DeFranco's, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know. Let's do, I guess... Lewis's videos are okay sometimes, but he's so... The problem with advice from Lewis, I do watch his stuff sometimes, he's just so fucking serious about everything. And it's like so deadpan serious. It's like you gotta laugh a little bit. Like, come on, man. Here, we'll watch it a little bit. At least to see the clips of the other people talking about it at the very least. That would be really nice. All right, one second.
Family knows it and everyone knows it too. Saying that they don't have what it takes, they never did, and that they're nut job troublemakers while Trump is...
So, we read that. Let's get into... Oh, is there like a compilation? I guess we can watch a compilation. CNN plays montage of Trump praising Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex. Oh yeah, I guess this would be a little important because it's like this is how close that these people all used to be, and now they're all having a little crash out party. It's funny.
Her away because she demanded the release of the Epstein files. So let's take a look at this clip of Trump contradicting himself in real time.
I just mentioned a name, but a woman who I saw the other night on television just ripped some poor idiot apart. Megyn Kelly is here. And she's doing, come up here, Megan.
By the way, I'm having a great time up here. Are you having a good time? This guy, is he the greatest interviewer? Candace Owens, I watched her and I saw her coming. I said, you know, I'm pretty good at star power. I say, that's a star.
I will say this about Trump, right? And I don't think anyone has ever given him, not the compliment, but like ever recognized this. He has to be like one of the first presidents to ever acknowledge and like at least semi keep up with online political conversations, because I'm pretty sure like political commentary has existed for a very, very long time, and with the internet it's a bit newer, but like I think this is the first time where he's just like, oh yeah, this podcaster who has no like political expertise at all, but is just a guy talking about politics. I watch him and I think what he says is like valid. In a way, I feel like more politicians should maybe pay attention to like the podcasting scene and like the political landscape of commentary guys, mainly because it kind of makes them like listen to how the average person who has no political expertise looking at our political landscape and like trying to understand like what's happening kind of thing. It's kind of, I feel like paying attention to that stuff makes you at least more keenly aware of like what Americans actually think of this kind of thing. Because if you're always going to go through the perspective of just like what your ambassadors are telling you what the American people think, you're going to get a biased perspective because they only see it through the lens of being a politician. But the fact that Trump pays attention, at least to social media, at least to what people say about him on social media, at least what people say about him on podcasts. Sure, does he filter it through only positive things being said about him because he only lives in an echo chamber? Yes. But the fact that he at least knows who these people are, knows like how politics is being talked about nowadays, it does give him a little bit of a leg up in relatability. That it kind of, because it's like, at the very least, he knows that how people talk about politics on social media, right? A lot of our politicians nowadays don't know how we speak about politics on our public access kind of like ways of communicating with each other. They all usually label it as like sensationalist or like people don't know what they're talking about, or even like gatherings for domestic terrorism, which is what this Trump administration is doing with a lot of like, you know, leftist activists on the internet, right? But the fact that he like kind of was ahead of the curve on it, where he's just like, oh, there's all these podcasters and all these people that talk about politics and social media. Sure, they're not politicians themselves, but neither was I when I started. You know what I mean? It is more of a bit of a connection there. Where Trump loses people is the fact that he's a fucking billionaire who fucked the little girls on an island with his best friend billionaire. So relatability is kind of gone missing once you start fucking little girls. You know what I mean? Oh, that's so funny.
I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed.
Donald Trump, let me say this. My audience, I'd say 90% supports you. Okay? And you definitely
have shown your knowledge of geopolitical systems. Donald Trump will turn on you just like that. The second you have an opinion of your own, which actually shows the entire embodiment of MAGA, you are not allowed to have a single critical thought. You are supposed to follow the pipeline or Trump will discard you like the narcissist he shows himself to be, which actually sends a horrible message for the remainder of MAGA senators, congressmen, and officials and influencers, knowing that Trump will turn on you in a moment's notice. The second you think for yourself or try to do what's right for your country, this is the result of a Trump to his loyal followers. This is the
I think that's another thing that's like is why when I look back on like the 2016 to 2020 era of Trump, why it's not as bad as it is now, because what was in Trump's cabinet in 2016 to 2020 were people who had worked in other cabinets before him, other Republican and Democratic cabinets before him, and actually had the fucking balls to tell him no. Right now, in this era of Trump, this second era of Trump, all his cabinet is full of is a bunch of loyalists who do not have the fucking guts to tell him no. So it's like we went from at least having some sensibility of like people who could guide Trump in a more professional political direction. So now people who will not speak up and won't give a fuck because they're all either loyalists or they're in it for the job purely, and they're just like, if I speak out against them, I'll lose my position, you know? So it's like, they're either being chain-holed in two ways. Either they're just that loyal to him and don't want to question anything he does, or even if they have questions, they're like, well, my job's on the line, so I really can't. You know what I mean? It's fucking pussies, man. Every single one of them are fucking pussies.
End of the Trump administration. This is the end of MAGA. And here's one of the first clips that Trump saw that made him attack all four of these MAGA influencers that have given everything to the Trump administration. Let's take a look at this clip of Candace Owens calling Trump the biggest disappointment of her career. And this is before Trump made his post calling them out.
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? Oh, you can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen, and it is happening.
This is so interesting about Candace. It's like, she's such a grifter, obviously. She's like, I don't regret voting for him. He obviously, that's the better candidate than Kamala. Hold on. I have to repeat what she said, sorry. She's obviously the better candidate than Kamala Harris. There we go. I'm getting my C's and my K's mixed up. Obviously the better candidate than Kamala Harris, surely better than Joe, right? But I do regret telling people, my followers, to vote for him. It's like, then you regret voting for him. Like, if you're going to be that confident, like, I'm going to vote for him, so should you. But if you're just being like, I don't regret the fact that I said I was going to vote for him, I regret the fact that I told others to do it. It's like, then you regret it. Just say you regret it. Like, this... There's a saying, I remember someone saying, it's like, you only have two options. Either completely admit you're wrong or double down, and more people would have more respect for you if you just double down completely. She's trying to do both, and it makes her look fucking stupid. Like, it's fucking dumb. Like, either double down, completely double down, or say you regret it. Don't do this, like, two-pronged thing. It just makes you look like a pussy.
But I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
Trump has delivered on zero of his promises. We all saw it coming. And he has ignored the American voices for far too long, that even his most loyal and close supporters and influencers who have everything to lose by going against Trump are calling him out in real time and leaving. Trump is...
I mean... this is why I like Lewis, but like, I think he takes this too seriously. They're leaving. MAGA's over. And it's like, I guess, sure, MAGA's over, but like, to be fair, they said that they would, he's so dramatic about it. They'll lose everything by standing up to Trump. It is more popular to be against Trump right now than any other time it was to be against him, publicly. It's a little silly. I think the whole thing's silly. I want to get to Alex Jones because I think he's funny. He's bald and he's stupid. I want to go to Alex Jones.
Jones actually responding in real time to Donald Trump's post, saying he believes he's possessed by demonic entities and starts praying for him. These people have such cognitive dissonance.
You know how bad it is outside?
Yeah, did you see my chat? No, what is going on outside?
It's gonna be like 60 to 80 mile per hour winds.
Tornado watch, everything.
Have you, you know, for how chronically online you are right now?
You didn't even see my little message. I was, huh?
I didn't even know you said you wanted to stream this.
Wait.
You missed 3 calls. Yeah, it's like a tempest outside. It's a tempest out there.
Yeah. Chat, am I gonna die? Chat, I might die. Wait. Has that been going? How long?
It's been going on for 2 hours.
You didn't know that?
You haven't.
No.
That. It's supposed to get worse as the hour goes on. We're expected to lose internet, or not internet, the power in like an hour.
And potential tornado risk.
True. We're gonna die.
Die, chat. Well, guys, this is.
Doing it live.
Well, guys, this was a great chat. It's nice knowing everybody. This is the last time you'll ever see me. My house is going to get blown off of the walls. I'm going to end up in Oz or something. I don't know.
We'll end up somewhere.
Okay, well, I'm going to finish this up. And then we're going to hopefully not die within the next hour.
Yeah, that's the plan. Bye, chat.
Bye, chat. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, Alex, tell me how Trump is demonic. I need to know.
That they think he is possessed by demons. Something bad.
Yeah. Yes, please.
But at the end of the day, I just feel sorry for him and pray that God touch his heart and soul and free him from the demonic influences that he's under. I mean, it's just that simple. This is a nightmare. We know the Democrats, the left, are absolutely terrible, but when Trump's calling for wiping out whole civilizations and acting like a supervillain, I have to come out and say I don't support it. It's that simple. So again, Trump's own wife came out in an unannounced press conference today and said the Epstein crimes are real and that she wants the victims to be in front of Congress and the cover up to end. That's the opposite of what Trump's saying. Looks to me like she's breaking with Trump because she knows the ship's sinking, has found out the truth. Elon left 8 months ago saying he's in the files as a cover-up. I never saw any evidence of it, but he's acting like he's guilty. We know he's protecting Howard Lutnick, who said he didn't know Epstein didn't go to the island, and he did. So all I can say is this is a terrible day, and it's a nightmare for America and the world, but I'm going to tell the truth, report on the facts, no matter.
I think it's a nightmare for you. I think it's a nightmare for you because you spent 10 years of your career literally supporting a pedophile. I think it's a nightmare for him. I don't think it's a nightmare for America. I mean, it is a nightmare for us. We're living in it. But, I think it's more of a nightmare for Alex because he staked his entire career on this fucking con artist and is realizing it's a con job 10 years later. Damn, Alex. Somebody could have told you. Actually, a lot of people probably told you. Oh, goodness gracious. And I love that he, says, look, the Democrats are terrible, demonic, evil, right? But this Trump guy, you can't just threaten to wipe out a whole civilization. It's like, when have the Democrats ever threatened to wipe out a whole civilization like that? I get that, the both sidesism, right? But, there's clearly a difference. One side apparently wants to make transgender for everybody. Ooh, the terror, right? But let's make something clear. The one side is just a bunch of fucking pussies. Let's make this fucking obvious. The criticism of the both sides fallacy is, that the Democrats and the Republicans are all on the same. If we're talking about Epstein files, then yes. But in terms of general policy, fucking general policy about how they want to structure social life and government structures or whatever the hell. What are you two doing?
I'm gonna charge your phone if the power goes out.
Oh, thank you.
Like that if the power goes out.
Okay, you guys are appearing from the walls. There are people in my walls.
Hi.
Look at the people in my walls.
I'm the genderless freak.
They're in my walls. They're in my walls.
I'm in your walls.
He's in my walls. But in terms, what was I at? Okay. But in terms of policy stuff, right? the Democrats and their policy is like, if we're thinking of like a spectrum thing, they're pretty much either like center or like center right kind of thing. If you want to say they're all on the same coin on that front, then yes. But we are having a lot more Democrats come in on the younger side, like AOC and like Zoran Mamdani and other stuff that are like democratic socialists, as they label themselves as. And that's the only far right that really exists within American politics. That's it. It's like the very few small younger minority that are calling themselves democratic socialists, that's the far left. The far left that existed before that Alex thinks is demonic. What is the most demonic thing that he has accused them of doing? Providing transgender for everybody? Like, bitch. I think wanting to wipe out a whole civilization and starting a war because you're protecting the Epstein class is a little worse. A tad bit worse. I don't think it's comparable. Oh, God.
You hear it from the top MAGA influencers themselves. They are done supporting Donald Trump. And this comes after his video from yesterday saying that he wants Trump to get impeached under the 25th Amendment for his war in Iran. This is the video that set Trump off about Alex Jones in the first place, saying, how do we impeach him? Real time, on camera. Let's take a look at this clip.
Compared to existential threat, how do we 25th Amendment his ass?
The problem is to get the 25th Amendment is harder than impeachment. You have to get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate.
So what do we do?
Yeah, what do we do?
Tackle Trump and let him pretend he's president and publicly report that he's going through a health issue and Vance take over. It literally needs to be something like that. It's that.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is that these people, the people who are now coming out against Trump now are trying to rally against Vance. Vance is just as unpopular. The reason why people are calling on 25th Amendment is because the 25th Amendment would not just... from what it's written, you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. It would essentially kind of remove not just Trump, but like a lot of his main cabinet out of positions of power. And I think them rallying behind Vance when they're already critical of other members of his cabinet, like Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, or not even Kristi Noem, let's be honest, they probably like her, but like, they were, like, critical of Pam Bondi's response to the Epstein thing. They're critical of the war in Iran. Just be Trump. That's crazy. But the girlies are fighting. He's literally calling for his removal. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene. So is Megyn Kelly. They're fighting. The girlies are fighting, and we love it. Yay. Oh, goodness. Well... It sounds like there's going to be a tornado that's going to kill me, so I'm going to have to leave. But this was a fun stream. Way to end the stream. Oh, goodness. So, look, the bottom line is, politics is only more entertaining when I get to laugh at it. If I can't laugh at it and it's not entertaining to me, then, you know, I don't really try to care all that much. It's only when it's petty bullshit like this, when the girlies are fighting, is when I think it's funny. That's when I care. And that's the only time in which I give a shit. Okay? If this shit's not funny and I'm actively not watching girlies fight each other, I don't care either way. I'm kidding. There is a lot of things going on in the world that is scary, and a lot of people are dying unnecessarily for no reason. And I just want to say, it's almost over. We will get through it. I'm almost positive that we're getting close to the end, given that if the fucking dick suckers of the last 10 years are coming out being like, yeah, this is fucking crazy, we should probably stop supporting this guy, then that means there is at least a light at the end of the tunnel. We're close to the end, guys. It is gonna happen. We're so close. And by that point, when it finally officially is over for real, because it's not over right now, but eventually we will see the end of this at some point, right? When that happens, I want everybody who has ever indoctrinated me into this shit to know, I hate you. I don't want anything to fucking do with you. And even when this is all fucking over, I will still hate you until the day you're all dead. Until the day you are all dead, I will be hating on you. I am the biggest hater. Trump is a bitch, and I'm a hater. And I will hate you forever trying to convince me that this guy was normal. So fuck you. Anyway, try to view politics in the way of humor, because that's the only way I know how to cope. And I don't know if it's healthy. I don't know if it's working. But it's something. It makes me not go insane. So thanks for being here, chat. Thanks for showing up for the stream. This was funny. Next time on the Lazy After Dark show, we shall we shall do something else. I don't know what, but I'll figure it out. Figure it out. Maybe we'll do more more untitled paint drawings. That would be great. What do we play? What do we play out? I know what we could play out. We'll do this one. Has this been playing the whole time? That's so fucking stupid. All right, thanks guys. I appreciate everybody who decided to donate tonight. We had some pretty big donos tonight, so thank you for doing that. I hope everyone had an amazing day. And as always,
support her on Patreon.
Yes, exactly. Tell them, roommate.
Support them on Patreon. Do it. Just do it.
Tell them, roommate.
Do it.
I'm so happy to have people in my walls to support my Patreon. Anyways, goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna leave. See you later.
It's fucking the motherfucking Walmart. Oh yeah. I've been in the hippo section for like 3 days, listening to Shakira on replay. I talked to God in the Lego section. Ask your reverend, put it as 11th Amendment, obey Samuel. I said that's not quite my vibe. I told God we can take it outside, but I can't find the exit. I don't know where I am, and I don't know where my mom is. I don't know what time it is. I hit a blinker, then came in here just to find my fucking demons. Out here scheming on this plot, out here scheming. I'm undefeated when it comes to throwing hands with other high people in the parking lot, yeah.
Goodbye, chat.